It's yours truly, Probably Pablo, Culture, Lord Productions.
Good morning, South Florida.
This is the Big O Show.
You're tuned into the Big O Show.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. Judge, you tuned in to the hottest sports radio show with Orlando, a.k.a. the Big O. He covers all the South Florida teams, from the Dolphins to the Heat, well, you know what I mean. Monday to Friday, Probably Pablo in the Big O Show. O's on the radio, the top's where we gonna go. Miami, that's the way we roll. Locked on the morning show, Big O. No one has a similar show. Talk sports, talk plays, talk live and direct, because nobody do it better than Big O in the set. From sunrise, listen live, it's the best of the best. He's got the fans, got the heat, he's the best of the best. Big O, the only talking sports with a style. Break it a morning, it's Big O-N. Thank you for tuning in, keeping it glued in. Stay tuned, because right here's where the rumors in. Same place, because right here some of them begin. Simply call and just state your opinion. Real talk, sports talks, the Big O Show. Yeah, you love it, yeah, you like it, call him and let him know. Coach and Probably Pablo, now introducing the man of the hour, Big O, a.k.a. Orlando also Gary. Yeah.
Yeah, we are ready to rock and roll. Good morning. It's a Thursday, so you know where we're at. We're out here, of course, at Craig Zinn's. Toyota of Hollywood. I'm used to throwing the Craig Zinn in front, but Toyota of Hollywood out here.
It's all in the family. It's all good.
All in the family, of course, the Zinn family. 1841 North Road 7. We'll be out here at Toyota of Hollywood till 2 o'clock. A vehicle, Corolla, one of those things we would never tell you to buy or lease a vehicle where we wouldn't do it ourselves. So come on out and leasing a car. I forgot what leased the salesman told me, but mentioned us, and thank you very much. Very important when you come out to Toyota of Hollywood that you give us some love and mention to the sales staff that you're here, because you heard it on our show. So it's, we always appreciate it, and always appreciate those of you to come by and say hi out here, since we'll be out here for a couple of hours having some fun. We got a bunch of things to talk about again, which is
really
absolutely amazing.
I don't know how.
Neither do I.
Neither do I. Lean pickings out there, man.
Neither do I. But the NFL had some news, and the NFL has been suffering. People don't look at it that way, because they had their draft and they had free agency, and those are all well and good, but when you don't, these guys are physically and mentally. Talk about physically on how clean tackling, because there is a player. How are they recovering? Are they getting nicked up even in these kind of workouts? These are the things you want to start to find out, and you can't. You got no choice, right? COVID has not allowed you to do that. And then you lose out on the Hall of Fame game, which, big picture for the general fan, the game means nothing. It's a 5th preseason game. It's the most meaningless preseason game out of all of them. The more important part is the ceremonies, actually, right? And so you lost out on the game. You lost out on the ceremonies. You have now lost out on the... You've lost out also on all these mini camps, right? Like I said, and now they shaved the preseason down from 4 games to 2, supposedly. It's not final yet. Now, there's some reports that some of the players, they say audio in and out. What's going on? Is it all right, or what's the deal?
It's just the Ethernet.
Okay, all right. So they now some of the players are saying no preseason. And I got to tell you, this is where it becomes a really hairy situation. And this can create all kinds of problems now for the NFL. Okay, first of all, guys aren't going to be in the kind of shape they need to play football. And if you don't have preseasons, if you don't have any preseason games, they're already limited in preseasons. Your stars aren't really playing anymore in preseason games. Can you imagine now with COVID? You're really not going to be playing almost anyone outside of the draft picks and free agents and things like that are new players and new to your system that you got to kind of acclimate. And that's what these mini camps are really good for. It's the mental reps that you keep going over and over, so that way when the regular season rolls around, you're already comfortable and you're not thinking about it. Well, guess what's going to happen now? Because there's a good some of you out there, you don't want to live in reality. And if you don't want to live in reality, this is definitely not the radio show you want to listen to. I'm sorry, okay? If you want to paint the picture that the Dolphins are going to win every, 12 year, and you called me 5 years ago and I told you, hey, they're going to suck. And 10 years ago, hey, they're going to suck. And you didn't want to live in that reality, I'm sorry. I can't help you. And the reality is, I keep telling you guys that football is going to be the one sport that is going to have a problem getting off the ground because all the contact, so many players. How do you control all of them? How do you control each one of their environments they go back to at home? You can't. It's impossible. That's why I told you that the NBA is one of the few that gives us a little hope because they're in a bubble. So if somehow or another you can keep everybody healthy and stay in the bubble, then you'll be fine. There's other issues with that, and we'll address that later on the program. But if you look at what's going on with the NFL, slowly but surely, we're losing the season. It's just starting the early part of it. And you can't really push it back because then you push it more in the winter, and that becomes an even bigger risk for your football team, for your players. I mean, Rudy Gobert still can't taste months later. Von Miller still has some breathing issues. Don't know if you know that. But, I mean, this isn't the cold like some people want to keep comparing it to. You know what I mean? We were quarantined for 2 to 3 months in this country, and look where the pandemic is now. It tells you how contagious this thing is. We crossed 51,000 cases yesterday. I mean, the number just keeps getting higher. Like 660 yesterday. 700 and something the day before.
I think it was 667 exactly.
Yeah, it went a little lower, but again, it's still fluctuating right around that 600-700 range. You know what I mean? And again, hospitalizations are going to then affect. It doesn't have to always be the death rate. If you have this people are getting really sick and they're going to hospitals and then they're taking a bed. Like some guy yesterday was telling me, well, Houston's at 97%. They were at 95 last year and at this time. And I go to him, do you understand that you're helping me in my argument? I'm trying to tell you that's how fragile the hospital system is, that we can't have a major breakthrough because then it's going to overflow all the hospitals. And in Houston, clearly, they can't handle an exploding situation. That's why they're now at 97. You get it? We're not there yet. We're not at any of those levels, and hopefully we don't get there. But our cases are increasing. With case increases, it's hospitals. Then it's affecting older people. Then it's death. It's a cycle. And we're in that cycle now from everything that's gone on the last few weeks after opening and protest and rallies and all that. Now the effect rate is going up. The question is, the people affected, how many older people did they affect? Because then that will affect the death rate even more. And so these are all the things we're going to figure out. To football, they're in the middle of all of this. And their players are going back into these populations that are dealing with COVID. So they're going to bring it back to the facility. I mean, this is, I really worry about football. And the players still have to sign off on all the protocols to make sure they're healthy. They still have to sign off. Even though the NFL could force the 2-game issue, they've got to sign off on it. And maybe they want to negotiate, hey, no preseason. So the other part of all of this is, if you have no mini camps and you have no preseason, do you know how sloppy the football is going to be? The entire year, pretty much. Because you have not had any time to acclimate your rookies. Virtually doesn't do a damn thing, dude. Okay? It's a lot harder to do it in real time when you've got people on the other side of the football stopping you. And you haven't done it yet. And now you have to think about getting through that person and running whatever play you're supposed to run and be at the spot you're supposed to be, block the person you're supposed to block, whatever it is you're supposed to do, whatever your responsibility is. If you have not done it all season and now you're going to do it in a game-like situation, holy crap. If you have not tackled anybody since last year and you're going to start tackling in week 1 of the season, holy crap. Okay? I mean, it's really, you think about it, we are headed for a really ugly and sloppy NFL season is what we're headed for. That's the only way to look at it. That's if we have one. Okay? That's if we have one, is the question. We have no idea if we're going to have an NFL football season. And slowly but surely, it's chewing out the season. And football is the kind of sport that needs the damn mini camps, that needs the preseason, not because of the hitting, because we all know they're trying to protect the players, but because of all the mental reps that you get throughout that. I mean, all these teams that drafted young quarterbacks, it's a wasted offseason for them. They're going to get nothing out of their young quarterbacks, and they're not going to play any of them. Why would you? Do set them up to, I mean, it's tough enough to be a young quarterback in the NFL with an entire offseason that you played all the mini camps, you didn't hold out or anything, you had all your training camp reps, you had all your preseason reps, you're still not ready for the NFL. You will still look like you're out of place. Can you imagine a young quarterback now with absolutely no offseason? It's a wasted year for them. They're better off just going through the motions and watching the starter prepare and take notes and get whatever reps they can during the season. I told you yesterday, COVID has screwed the Marlins more than any other team practically, because you eliminated their minor league year, and they need that because that's what they are. And then their major league year, they got so many young guys that half of them probably belong in the minors. But those guys all needed 162 games of experience. Just experience. They weren't going anywhere. They're not going to win anything. But the experience that they all lost now sets the entire franchise back. Sure, the Dodgers' problem is they made a move for Mookie Betts, and you have to milk it for this 1 year because he's a free agent. That's a whole different ballgame. And Mookie Betts, or any established veteran, if he doesn't play this year and comes back next year, Mike Trout's not going to miss a damn thing. You'll still get Mike Trout next year. But you, as a franchise, now have to wait another year to assess all the players you have because you still don't know who's who. Here, same thing, man. You don't know what your guard is like. I mean, the Dolphins drafted a whole bunch of linemen, dude. They're not going to find out about any of those guys till the season starts because you're probably going to eliminate the preseason. Think about it. We're less than 4 weeks away from training camp, and COVID is exploding now again in this country. We have the highest number of positive tests that we've had the entire time. Okay? 51,000, dude.
Single day record.
Okay, so it's just like, it's crazy to think that we've got those kind of numbers and it's not going to affect what we do. Come on, man. You know, and I heard Tom Garfinkel say, oh, well, we're still hopeful with fans. I mean, you can say that, but come on. Again, you know, look at the pace we're on. How can we be hopeful of that at all? It's just, it's sad, man. It's depressing because the reality is it's getting closer and closer to the reality that football may be one of those sports that you just cannot play this year unless you can bubble them, and there's no way you're going to bubble all those people. You cannot bubble all the players and the coaches and the trainers and it's so many people. And it just entails so much work to get a football game going week in and week out that it's just it's too much. And right now, this pandemic might be too much for football to continue. 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, you can also reach out to me on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Follow us there as always, because as you know, that's a 24-hour talk show. The other thing I saw, and when it comes to football, I told you all out there that college football, I told you I have a little hope for pro football. I have pretty much no hope at all for college football. And why is it that I don't have a lot of hope for college football? All right. Did you see what Alabama students are doing?
I heard something about that. Yes.
Alabama, okay, students in Tuscaloosa.
This is crazy.
They've been diagnosed with COVID-19, so they've been attending parties in the city and surrounding areas as part of a disturbing contest to see catch the virus first. ABC News is reporting a city council member told them that. Tuscaloosa City Council Sonia McKinstry says students have been organizing COVID parties as a game to intentionally infect each other with the contagion that has killed more than 127,000 people in the United States. She said recently she learned of the behavior and informed the city council of the parties occurring in the city. She said the organizers of the party are purposely inviting guests who have COVID-19. They put money in a pot and they try to get COVID. Whoever gets COVID first gets the pot. These are the dumbasses we have in schools around the country. Okay? She says wherever students or kids will come in with known positives, according to the video recording of the meeting, we thought that was kind of a rumor at first. We did some research. Not only do the doctor's offices confirm it, but the state confirmed they have also the same information. In the presentation, Smith, who wore a face mask, did not say what is being done to curb the behavior or what schools the students were from. Tuscaloosa is the 7th largest city in Alabama and home to, of course, University of Alabama and several other colleges. Okay? I mean, that you got morons holding COVID parties and trying to spread it. Okay? All right? This is what you got going on now.
When I heard that morning, I like, this can't be real, right?
And don't you think football players are going to be sleeping with some of these women? Of course. You can't control it. You can't control a 19, 20-year-old. They're going to be at parties. They're going to be all over the place. And they're going to be contracting the virus, college football, there's no way it happens this year. I tell you, you can record it, you can hold me to it, and you can call me crazy, and I overreacted, and that's fine, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope I get to see a college football season. But you got students having COVID-19 parties trying to spread it. I mean, these young people, because they know the information that most of them are going to survive. Very few are going to suffer some, but the fact that there are some that could suffer some long-term effects, could die from it, and you're still willing to do it, I mean, that's the kind of stupidity that you cannot protect yourself from.
I saw a few reports, supposedly, that hospitals are saying that the severe cases of the 20 to 30, 35 range is increasing. So it is getting them more seriously.
Yeah, no, of course. But to them, they think they're going to survive everything because that's what you think at that point. And you look at, we all want football to happen. But it's going to be hard. Look, I love soccer, and I work for Inter, and I've got hope for them while they're in the bubble in Orlando. The second the MLS breaks from that bubble and they come back home and everybody can travel, that becomes a problem. That becomes a major problem for the MLS. I don't know if they're going to be able to, and we just added a defender yesterday, which, I mean, they've added a couple players during the pandemic. They're healthier now. They're going to get a couple guys back. They're going to they added a couple free agents. They're going to be a better team going into this tournament. And I don't know if they're going to be able to finish the season. You know what I mean? It's crazy, man. This thing is, if you can't put people in a bubble, that at least gives you a chance. That's not even a guarantee, but it gives you a chance at least. If you're out of a bubble like they are in college football and the NFL, and especially the environment that college football is in with all those idiots, no. I can't see it happening. I really can't. All right, 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, that's 786-322-1105. If you want to get in, we got Ian from Brooklyn in the house, Gus 1388, John Santos, radically centrist. The Hall of Fame game is important because it starts the season. I look forward to it regardless of who is playing. Yeah, radically, but it's also a crappy game. So let's not kid ourselves, okay? It's the worst game out of all of them. Let's see. Test them every 2 to 3 days. You know what, John? I think if you're a pro league, you test them every day. You got the money, man. Test them every day. That's what I would do. At 2 to 3 days, you give time for it to get spread, and it's really it's even that much harder to keep it. It'll be bad enough just a 24-hour period. Can you imagine 2 to 3 days? Do that. They have the money. Do it every day. Let's see, what else do we have? Omar Lopez is in the house. Ray Grulong, Tommy Italian 305 for life. Richard McLean. 9 months until the 2021 NFL draft, maybe. Well, that's going to happen, hopefully. Hopefully we'll have a vaccine by then, and maybe we can get through it. Julius 305 is in the house. If there isn't a cure, this will be every year thing. Either learn to live and play with it or shut it down and no one gets paid. You can't shut it down. But we can learn to live with it, John, but you can't be stupid about it. That's the problem. You can't have COVID parties, and you can't go to Trump rallies without a mask, and you can't be protesting without a mask, and you can't be hanging out with 400 idiots in the pool in the Ozarks. It's not about us opening. It's about how we go about our daily lives. That's our problem, okay? We can open, and we could try to move forward, but we have to protect each other while we do this. If we're just going to fight each other and we're going to politicize it and that's it, because you're a Trump person, you can't wear a mask. You can't do that. And that's why we have 51,000 cases. So, again, it's not a matter of shutting it down because we go from one extreme to another. People think putting on a mask is an extreme, and then if you don't agree to it, well, then we have to shut it all down. No. There's a happy middle there. Well, maybe not happy, but there's a middle ground there. And the middle ground is wear a mask. At least there's less chances of you transmitting it. It's not perfect. Particles are still going to get through any mask, okay? But they won't travel the same amount of distance that they will without a mask. And if you have a mask, you have a chance of at least blocking some stuff getting to you. You're not going to block everything because nothing is foolproof. Unless you have a suit that you're completely sealed in, then you're fine. But outside of that, the rest of us, we're going to be exposed one way or another. But keep your distance. That helps. Put on a mask. Helps even more. Can you imagine if you kept your distance and you had a mask? It makes it really hard to get sick.
Did you see the thing they did?
It's common sense. That's all.
Did you see the graphic they did the other day with the cough and the mask?
I've seen
and it's a single bandana.
It's like 8 feet.
Well,
the bandana, it's like 2 feet.
If you have a single bandana and you cough, it goes 3.5 feet.
Right.
If you double it up, it goes down to 1.5 feet.
Right.
If you've got an N95, it's like 6 inches.
Right.
And if you have a 99, it's 2 inches. And in the graphic, like we saw with the cough at the store, you could see that.
But if you're 6 feet away from somebody else, or, at least 4, 5, 7 feet away from somebody else, they have a mask, you have a mask, there's a great chance nobody's getting anything.
The other thing they talked about is the amount of time.
Common sense, man. That's all it is.
The other thing they said that's important is the amount of time being around a person. If you casually walk by or you're there for 1 or 2 minutes, the chances of getting it from somebody is slim and none. But if you're in the same location, i.e., like this thing they have at Mount Rushmore, and you're standing in the same location with the same person, if it gets to the 15-minute mark, the percentage is like 20 times more of you contracting it from just casual, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And it's...
And John, he goes, I know I heard it, but it's spreading now even though it's hot. I don't believe anything these experts say. They've been proven wrong all over. Hey, John, what did I say about hot? What did I say about hot when that came out? You watch the show every day, dude. You listen every day. What did I say about hot? What did I tell you guys about hot? See, John, that's a weak move on your part. That's a cheesy line on your part. You know why? I kept telling you guys that the heat has nothing to do with it because everybody's in AC. And you should know that because I said it on this show over and over again. So don't listen to the experts on that part because it's a fact. It's going to die out in the heat. Yeah. But do you live in the heat? Because I don't. I don't care how hot it is. I'm inside my comfortable Camry XSE with a nice AC kicking in. And then I parked and I walked 30 feet to the door, and now I'm in AC again.
You maybe spent a minute in the heat.
Yes. So, please.
The hottest place in the country is Arizona.
No, but I love John. But that's a cheesy-ass excuse on your part, and you're just picking on experts for no reason at all. Because common sense, I said it from day one, nobody lives in the heat. So it's a cheap excuse that experts put out there that, it'll die in the heat. Yeah, it'll die in the heat, but nobody lives in the heat. Unless you live in a freaking desert somewhere, nobody lives in the heat. No one. You go take your walk, you're not going to get it because you're in 95-degree heat. But when you're done with your walk and then you go shower, you're inside the house. And then you go to a restaurant, you're inside. And then you go to your office building, you're inside. The heat thing was never, ever an issue. You're making it something that it really isn't. And it was a silly thing that experts said, and people like me that have common sense shot it down right away. Right away, I told you guys, don't even pay attention to that. Yeah, sure. If you're outside, great. It's going to die. Who the hell's outside all the time? I'm sorry. All we're dying to do is get inside. Everywhere we go. So please don't use that excuse.
That inside-outside thing.
And you got this Sophie, the pandemic is fake. Wake up, you all. We're all being lied to. Yeah, I know, 127,000 people. I mean, really, you got people like, hey, Sophie, do me a favor, just get lost. Sophie, please, just leave the room. Don't be on the chat board, please. Just leave.
Did you see what they...
Sophie, please leave.
Talking about they gave an example of a cookout. For July
I know
4th.
everybody could have an opinion, but when your opinion's really stupid, I don't tolerate stupidity. Seriously, Sophie, I just don't tolerate stupidity. And if you keep doing that, I'll just block you for stupidity purposes, because then I think you're trolling. And like we had 2 trolls early on this thing a few months back, and we eliminate the trolls right away. Okay? So if you want to keep doing that stuff, oh, here we go. She continues. Let's just hide her. She's gone. There you go, Sophie. You're gone. Nobody can see your comments anymore. We're good.
Did you see the scenario?
I definitely.
Yeah.
I don't just. I'm not going to tolerate stupidity. Sorry. You can have your opinion. That's fine. And it's on this show. You can have an opinion, but when I think it's really stupid, I'm just going to either rip your ass or block you and just get rid of you. Because why? I don't. Sophie, you're the kind of person that has a COVID-19 party. You know, that's who you are, Sophie. You're the kind of person that has a COVID-19 party. And when people are calling this fake and people are dying, I know 5 people already that have died from COVID. I know 0 from the flu. There's nothing fake about it. And I'm not going to tolerate it. That's it. Pretty simple. Well, Sophie was trolling, John. Now she doesn't get to troll anything because now her comments have been blocked. So nobody sees Sophie's comments anymore. Since she was trolling like the other 2 idiots, remember a couple months back, whatever they are, we blocked them right away because, they had the same agenda every day. So I see it. I eliminate it. It's gone. It's history. No sports, no problem. I'm used to it now. Life has to be more than sports anyway. Sitting in front of the TV for 9 hours on Sunday was crazy anyway. Richard, you'll get back to it, bro. We'll get back to it. Relax, bro. It's not over.
This is a temporary hiatus.
Life is not over. It's like the people that, oh, my God, you want to keep me in my house for 2 months. My life is over. Don't you have many years to live? Relax, bro. You'll go out. Take it easy. Let's take a quick break. We're coming to you live from Toyota of Hollywood. Don't forget, Moody's Dental, 305-821-0231. Call Eric Moody's and Company. That family-owned. It is state-of-the-art equipment. It is exceptionally clean. The environment is second to none. I'm telling you, if you need a filling, cavity, Invisalign, implants, you name it, they do it. They are the best. Call them, 305-821-0231. Tell them that Big O sent you. Eric Moody's, moody'sdental.com.
It's a buyer's market at Toyota of Hollywood. Over 1,500 Toyotas on the ground, and truckloads just keep on coming. Now pay up to 50% less. 2020 Camry, not $29,000, $17,775. 2020 Corolla, not $22,000, $13,775. Buy a new 2020 Toyota with 0 down and 0% financing, or we'll make your payments till 2021 at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All right, we rocking from Toyota of Hollywood. Come on out, 1841 North State Road 7. Come on out, everybody except for Sophie. We don't want Sophie here. But everybody else is fine. Although you guys were smart. Ray's going bye-bye, Sophie. NorCal says Sophie will be missed. LOL. John Roscoe, Sophie's trolling. Ian from Brooklyn, Big O, done ghosted another one. Love it.
Okay, so we've got parameters. Do not tell what to do. Do not troll, or else you will be excommunicated.
Yes. Definitely the trolling. Trolling's the worst thing you can do on this show.
You know what it is? It's like
I don't have time for
it's like that mosquito, it just keeps coming back and tapping and hitting and hitting. It gets annoying.
The chat board is busy enough as it is, and I've got to kind of filter
decipher through. Yeah, man, for sure.
You think I need a couple of idiots like we had a couple months back that just had the same agenda? Oh, Chris Greer sucks. Dolphins suck. They haven't won in 20 years. Like every day. Every day. It's the same thing. You got nothing else to add. All right, you're gone. You know what I mean? But we blocked another one. Forget the hose. We blocked the hose many times already. But there was somebody else that was on there that was spreading hate. Remember a couple of weeks back?
Was it Danny?
I don't know what the guy's name. I don't even remember. I don't know if I even remember the name. I don't think we dealt much with it because there was a lot of hate being spewed by the guy.
It was over a 2 or 3 day period.
Yeah.
It was quick.
And we got rid of him. And then now, this crazy woman shows up, and, it's just we got to get rid of the Karen. You know what I'm saying? If Karen's around, we can't have Karens on our chat board. All right, but we do love the folks that love us and give us extra love on the super chat, like Leon Fresco. Boom. What? Super chat.
No way.
Yes way. No way. Yes way.
They were fantastic.
Super chat. Little do you know, Leon is the man that actually influenced the new Fresco supermarkets out there. So, Leon, thank you, my brother. Appreciate you chiming in.
Huh?
Jean-Luc says, people are stressed about staying in their homes, but imagine what it's like for the people who will get evicted this month. No, I know. It's absolutely terrible.
Yeah, that rent protection thing ended July 1st.
Yep.
And it's on the individual supervisor or property manager or whatever to decide individually if you stay or go.
Yep.
That's pretty bad, man.
It's terrible, man.
There's no protection.
That's terrible. We got a couple of more super chats coming in. John Rouse is in the house.
I know that, dude.
Super chat.
Oh, gnarly.
We love you, John.
We definitely know that dude.
Yes, we know that dude. And John, you fell for the banana in the tailpipe with that heat stuff. You don't let them catch you with that, because and I know we live in the AC, bro. Okay.
Look at the hottest place in the country, man. Phoenix.
Yeah.
Arizona, they're blowing up.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the hottest. You can't get hotter than that. 112 at 2 in the afternoon.
Yo, Texas is not cool.
It's not cool, but I'm saying the extreme.
I know, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, no.
Florida, Texas, and Arizona. Hot-ass places.
Running neck and neck to be the biggest for the day. Yep.
Nobody hangs out outside, bro.
No.
You hang out outside to go to your car in your AC, and then you run back to whatever office or home or whatever. Nobody. Tommy Italian 305 for live on the Super Chat. Oh, that's all about the U. He likes that too. He's a 305 guy for life.
You know what?
You got anything?
God, we haven't played anything of that in so long.
Wow.
Recent research has shown
Super Chat.
makes no sense.
Yeah, you're getting focused on all the wrong sort of details here. You need to forget about all the normal rules that apply in society.
Wasted no time. Super Chat. I thought it was really, 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 really cool.
You should all be very proud of yourself.
I have no response.
Super Chat.
That was perfect.
Tommy has an interesting question. He says, I had a thought and I wanted your opinion. Do you think Greer and Flores really, truly wanted Tua, or were they forced into taking him? All right. 1,000% they were never forced to taking Tua. Okay? I know exactly what they did. And in a way, it's kind of what I was talking about. You remember? Few weeks before the draft, I kind of changed my mind. When I'm thinking about it, they got 14 draft picks. Tua's the guy that has the highest upside of all the quarterbacks, including Burrow. So, if he can somehow stay healthy, you got yourself a passer, an accurate passer, a leader, a winner, all that stuff, because he fills all the other boxes. And I think that Greer and Flores said, we got by with Fitz and Rosen last year. We got better as a team. Let's keep drafting. We have confidence in our draft, in our free agent decisions, all of that from last year. They're going to try to do it again. They're going to build a hell of a team. If it's Tua or if it's Rosen, fine. If not, they'll continue. But I think they wanted to take the guy that if he somehow stayed healthy, they know it will fast track their success. So they took that chance. But I don't think it had anything to do with them being forced, because this would defeat the purpose for Stephen Ross if he does that. The idea of hiring your general manager and get out of the way, notice it wasn't him along with the GM saying, well, we interviewed this, and I really like Adam Gase. I think I really like Joe Philbin. Stephen Ross really wasn't like the centerpiece of those things anymore. He Ndamukong Suh. Ndamukong Suh and Stephen Ross met at a Red Wings game, and he won him over there. Stephen Ross kind of figured it out. Let me hire the GM. Let me get away. And let him hire who he thinks is right. Let me not meddle in, because I'm the owner and I pay his salary. And if I tell somebody I like him, the person is probably just going to say, you're right, Stephen, I like him too. Because it's hard to tell somebody it's hard to tell your boss you're wrong. Okay? It's not a fun thing. Trust me, I've done that already. Okay?
The guy that writes the check has the power.
Yeah.
You want to, make him as happy as possible, because that continues that check coming.
Yeah. I told Len Weiner he was wrong, and I mean, look at him. I mean, he's a disaster over there. He doesn't know squat, but I told him he was wrong. So, trust me, bosses don't like to hear they're wrong from their employees. They don't want to hear it from their employees. That employees can suggest something. Hey, what about this? Nah, I like this. Okay. But you never want to tell your boss you're wrong. Okay, it's not a good thing. Trust me. I've done it. Okay? I've done it. I was right, but not right for telling him, because I knew what the ramifications were. But at that point, I kind of knew already I was getting fired. So it's like, hey, man, let me just tell him how wrong he is. There you go.
We're going down this path anyway. Let me just push it a little further and faster.
Let me see it. I knew it wasn't going to get any faster. because I knew they were going to wait till
They
my
had to wait for the
option.
contract. Yeah,
They were going to wait for my option because they weren't going to leave several months on, and they were
But
cheap.
you didn't want them teetering. You wanted to make sure that they were going to.
Yes. I wanted to make sure that there was no, hey, he's got a bunch of sponsors that maybe we could get. No.
So your pushing was like an insurance policy that this is going to be over. Thank the Lord.
I mean, think about it. Look how they're so cheap. That's why they can't let me go early, because they would have to pay me more while I'm gone. So they wait till the end. Look how cheap they are. They got Amber and Zaz out now. They can't have. They don't even have money for a replacement.
A guy that they don't like. They held in place.
This is what will happen. This is what will happen with Intercom. Mark my words, okay? Because I've been 1,000% right so far on them. You will see they will file for bankruptcy. They will try to liquefy their assets, try to keep half their stations and sell out the other half because they can't afford it. And in the process, they will then also fire about half the employees that they currently have. So whoever has survived all of the firings from Intercom in the last 2 years now, and the last wave was a fire, what was it? The layoffs, or what are the furloughs, and then payment cuts, salary cuts. The next wave, they will now fire another group of people so they can restructure, file for Chapter 11, all that stuff. It's coming. Trust me. I've seen this story before. I know it. It was a $15 stock. It's like at $2 now. But that's what it is. They do stupid things and make stupid decisions. Anyway, so I'm telling you, Tommy, there was no gamble there at all. GP Trap Hewitt, thank you, my brother. Appreciate you. A little super chat. Thank you.
What the hell?
Super chat.
That took guts. We need guts.
I told you I can totally
super chat.
So you think you got what it takes?
You have no skills.
This is permanent.
Good job.
I'm promoting you.
You got a lot of problems, don't you?
Take pride in that.
GP says ho fins, and then says stay safe, Big O. Thank you, my brother. We are going to try to stay safe. It ain't easy, man. It's one of those things. Even doing all the right things, you can end up with this stuff. That's the terrible part about it. Man of 1,005 holds says they fooled me. I'm glad they picked Tua. Better to choose a guy with more upside than to choose someone who just has potential. Amen with that? Amen. That's what they did in Green Bay. They traded for a kid that's got a ton of potential. Super talented, but there's been a lot of those guys. It's about fine-tuning that skill of throwing the ball. I always say this. I always talk about this, and I always compare it because I think it's a fair comparison at times. If you ever go to a bar and you watch people play darts, you will see some people can play darts and some can't. It's just the way it is, man. You can't explain it. Some people just have the touch that you need to throw a dart. The other people, they're hitting the bathroom door. They're taking people's eyes out. They miss the entire circle. And no matter what they do, they just can't get it. And throwing a football, it's a skill. It's a gift. And Tua has that gift of placing it in the right spot. Ryan Tannehill, you can watch him all you want. You'll never see ball placement where it's supposed to be on a consistent basis. More often than not, it's too high, too low, behind him, whatever, and the receiver has to adjust, slow down, stop, turn around, and it's a completion, and the average fan looks at it and just says, well, it's a completion. Yeah, it's a completion, but it could have been more. Okay? And that's the gift that you can't teach. You have to teach it to Jordan Love. You don't have to teach it to Tua. He knows how to throw you open. He knows how to lead you. You know what I mean? These are things that are just, they come natural with real QBs. And the athlete that you're trying to teach him how to be a passer, it is so hard to convert that person into that. They're athletes and they will freak you out and they will make some throws that will They can occasionally do that stuff, but they can't do it on a consistent basis. Let's see. What are we talking about here? Ross is a total success in real life and is learning by experience every year. I believe Ross has been a great owner and has learned the lessons he needed to grow. Team is on the rise for the long run. I agree, NorCal. That's exactly what's gone on. Like any of us that start a new business, we got to learn about a lot of things that we don't know, and we've got to experience it. You know what I mean? And then once you go through that experience, you're better for it. But until you go through that experience, you're not going to get better. And he had to learn that he's not the football guy, that he should not be making the football decisions, that he should get football people, not an accountant like Mike Tannenbaum, to make football decisions. He's learning. It happens. But it's what NorCal says. I'm with him. I think he's a great owner. I think he'll do anything it takes to win. He just needs the guidance. And I think now he has that guidance that he has not had. And now that's because he put football people in place. And now he just sits back and supports those football people. And guess what? Things are going to get better.
He's always put forth effort and tried. You know, it isn't from a lack of effort on Ross's part.
No, never.
Ever.
Yeah, never.
You know, it's just he didn't need the medal, probably. And he, has gotten smart.
John says, got 3 bullseye in a row to beat my ex-girlfriend. She was pissed. Don't know how I did it. Then he says, screw that. I'm the man. I was getting some anyways. There you go. Why in the world would someone hire an accountant to manage a football team? Makes 0 sense. Yeah, I know. I know, my brother, but hey, look, in Cleveland, they hired a baseball guy to run their football, DiPodesto. So, what are you going to do, right? 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. Let's see. Good morning, gentlemen. Ron from Michigan is checking in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. Thank you, Ron, as always, for keeping it locked here on the program. Did you see that the NFL may actually have people sign waivers? I don't know if you saw that, but this is pretty interesting if the NFL requires fans to sign a COVID-19 waiver. Okay, so if somehow or another the NFL can even play, and then 2, they can actually get to the extreme of allowing fans in. The NFL wants fans to be able to attend games during a pandemic, but they don't want to be responsible for what may happen to fans that they attend during the game. Daniel Kaplan of The Athletic reports the league is considering a requirement that fans sign liability waivers, protecting the league from lawsuits based on contracting the COVID-19 virus. The potential waiver likely will be forwarded to teams by the middle of next week. And I got to tell you something. The NFL is really smart in doing this. And not because they want to avoid a lawsuit or anything like that. We're watching idiots in the Ozarks. We're watching protesters that are just absolutely dumb hanging around other thousands of people with no mask. We're watching Trumpies go into a convention center or an arena or wherever they're at, a church, and they have no masks on. We're watching some 500 idiots in a pool in the Ozarks with no mask on. I mean, there's so many of these incidents all over the place, right? So now you've got the NFL saying, well, you got these students in Alabama now having COVID-19 parties. You got people that will walk up to you. If you tell them to wear a mask and they don't want to wear a mask, then they'll cough on you. Okay? So, in other words, the irresponsibility is everywhere. So why should the NFL, somebody may get in and they take their temperature and their temperature's fine, but they're asymptomatic. And if you physically can't test somebody, which that would be kind of extreme, then I'm the NFL. Yeah, dude, you got to sign a waiver. Do you know why? We have too many idiots in this country. We have too many people that want to spread the virus. So we can't control everybody that comes in. We're not sure everybody that comes in is COVID-free. We're not sure that everybody that comes in will follow the rules and keep their masks on. We'll try to enforce it, but we cannot actually be on top of everything. So if you're the NFL, you have to have that waiver because you cannot guarantee anyone's safety whatsoever. And you cannot really tell who has it and who doesn't have it. So not only will you go, and listen, I think the people that are willing to go to games, they will happily sign that waiver. Because a lot of those people that you see that are refusing to wear masks or they've politicized the whole mask thing, those are the kind of people that are going to go to a game, not wear a mask, and don't care. It's screwed up, man. Ray Grulon is in the house, and he is chiming in on a super chat. Thank you, Ray. What? Super chat.
No way.
Yes way.
No way.
Yes way.
They were fantastic.
Super chat. Ray has a good one, and I got your answer, Ray. He says, nice Costello shirt. Thank you. Little Elvis Costello today. Orlando, to me, Tua reminds me more of Russell Wilson than Breeze. Not sure why the pundits like to say Breeze. I'll tell you why, young man. Why? Because Breeze and Tua aren't great athletes. That's why. They're short quarterbacks, right? They're all accurate. They're all smart. They're all leaders. They all have that same comparison, except Russell Wilson is a freak of an athlete. Tua is not, and Breeze is slightly less than that. Tua is not really a great athlete. He has some mobility, but he's not a great athlete. Okay, let's get that straight now. Do not expect Tua to put it this way. He's not Aaron Rodgers either. Okay? Seriously, that's why I think the comparisons are there. That Tua's a guy that has mobility, will buy himself some time, but he's not the magic of Russell Wilson. And obviously, he's not the freak of Lamar Jackson. I mean, that guy's got legs like we've never seen before at that position. I mean, it's Barry Sanders at quarterback, basically. Actually, he might be even faster than Barry. Yeah, I think he is faster than Barry. But he has that lateral quickness of Barry that I've never seen. I mean, Warwick Dunn and others, there are a couple of running backs that have pretty good lateral quickness like Barry, but a quarterback, I've never seen that in my life. So, Ray, I think that's where the comparison comes from. That Tua is a little bit more cerebral because he and Breeze have to be a little bit more cerebral, and Russell is cerebral, but he can depend on athleticism sometimes. And that's something that these other two guys, you're not going to see a lot of plays from Tua and probably Breeze where the magic came from the legs that led to the arm. You get what I'm saying? Whereas Russell Wilson does it every day. He does it like it's going out of style. You know what I'm saying? So it's a whole different ballgame. No doubt about that. All right, 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, that's 786-322-1105. We were at VSS West Pines yesterday, 12397 Pembroke Road, man. Come on out there. And listen, 20% off if you mention my name and you go over to VSS West Pines. So if you need anything, any CBD, flower, tinctures, edibles, you're looking for stress relief, anxiety, pain, maybe for the dogs and the cats, you want to calm them down a little, you can do that there at 12397 Pembroke Road. If there's a water pipe, if there is a hookah you want to buy, all the hookah supplies they've got there, the e-juice, all of that, 20% off, folks. Tell them that Big O sent you. 12397 Pembroke Road. Call them, 954-613-3367. That's 954-613-3367 for, of course, VSSWestPines.com.
I know that, dude.
Where'd you get this?
It's a buyer's market at Toyota of Hollywood. Over 1,500 Toyotas on the ground, and truckloads just keep on coming. Now pay up to 50% less. 2020 Camry, not $29,000, $17,775. 2020 Corolla, not $22,000, $13,775. Buy a new 2020 Toyota with 0 down and 0% financing, or we'll make your payments till 2021 at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
Are you tired of watching the...
We're back. All right. Talking with the boys out here. Sorry, we took long here on the segment. Anyway, you all, hopefully you all are doing well out there. We are out here at Toyota of Hollywood like we do every single Thursday out here, having some fun. At 1:30, by the way, Franco Panizo is going to join us. So we'll talk a little Inter Miami. They sign Leandro Gonzalez-Pires, a key defender, actually, for them. So they keep adding talent. And so you start to think about, hey, this team's getting more and more competitive during the break, and they're going to get healthier now. So they're going to get a couple players back, and that's going to be a lot of fun to watch this team actually take a couple more steps here. Now the question is, what kind of chemistry is there going to be, because it's not a team that's been playing a long time. So any of the MLS teams that have had their players together for a while, you would figure that is going to be an advantage in this restart for them, because they only were a couple games in, but chemistry is obviously so important in soccer. And that'll be the challenge for Inter Miami, is getting the healthy guys back, adding the new players, and then trying to get in sync. And you only have a couple games to try to stay alive in this tournament. And you start off with Orlando, which is, wow. So it's amazing stuff, okay? Let's see, what do we have here on the chat board while I was gone? Let's see. Not in New Jersey. No fans allowed this season. That's what Juan Cruz says. Tony Leggett says, the more I drink, the better I am at darts. Nice. That's well, there you go. You're probably just getting the touch when you're getting a little inebriated. NorCal says, I'll sign a waiver. Oh, yeah, I know you're crazy. I was going to sign that waiver. Tua does not have elite athleticism like Wilson. Every time he got hurt, it's because he was getting caught while scrambling, I believe. Tua's not a great athlete, dude. It's just he has enough to move around, but that's why they compare him more to Breeze than Russell Wilson. NorCal says, I want Laramie Tunsil's mask. Nice. Or you want what's inside the mask also, right? 13, Epstein's Maxwell arrested. Yes, they arrested her. There isn't a long enough jail sentence for that woman if she was involved in trafficking the girls. I'm glad they caught that bitch. With no college football, would the NFL draft still exist? If so, why can't seniors sign NFL contracts before the draft? Well, because they haven't been drafted, Richard. They have to get drafted. You're talking about the seniors coming in this year. They have to wait till next year to get drafted, and then they can sign. But right now, you have to have another draft, and you can't have another draft until you have another season. And if they don't have a season, then it's probably going to be just one giant lottery next year. Let's see. John says, I'll sign a waiver as long as I'm sitting in the geriatric section with responsible people. Yeah, isn't that see, that's where John is like right on target. Like he's trying the perfect scenario that, okay, I'm going to sit with old people and they got to be responsible. And it's like, okay, we got to find those people too. So it's so risky, man. It really is. It's as risky as it gets.
Yes, I would like to know where the Century Village section of the stadium is.
Yeah, I'll be comfortable there myself too. Tua will get coached up. He's going to toss the rock instead of taking hits. Let's hope so, baby. I remember when Greasy got drafted, they said he was like Flutie. Not. Well, it's impossible because Flutie didn't exist then. Let's see. If Tua was getting you were comparing Greasy to a guy that doesn't exist on Earth at all? I mean, that's kind of, that's really what it is, right? Let's see. Richard says, do the Dolphins have enough ammunition with draft picks to land Trevor Lawrence if they have to? Yeah, they have enough draft picks, but hopefully they won't need it. Hopefully Tua looks good. Hopefully he stays healthy. Hopefully he shows you a little something and you can build on that. I'd like to land. I'd have to keep searching. But I get why you would want Trevor Lawrence. That's for damn. I just don't think anybody's going to give you Trevor Lawrence if they have him at number one. Unless it's a team that already has a quarterback. And like I said, next year's draft, if you have no season, it could be one giant lottery. Wow. Yeah. The team that wins it could have already their quarterback in place. Every time Tua gets hit, I'm going to feel queasy like Joe Philbin. I don't blame you, man. Omar Lopez says, exactly. We're in no rush with Tua. Build up that O-line and get him 100% fully healthy. I'm with you, man. I've been saying that from the get-go. Let's see. O-line has to be playing well. Tua must be showing in practice that he doesn't hold on to the ball too long. Then throw him out there if he's kicking ass in practice. NorCal says, super thanks to the folks out there for sending Big O Show Super Chat support. I love the show and thank all of Big O's support system and mostly Big O for keeping the show going and stronger every day. Thank you, my man. Appreciate you. Richard says, Dolphin working on O-line for 25 years in a row. Now you can count baby the kid to a draft 5th overall. Yeah. Yeah, but I think we're going to start getting closer to fixing that O-line now. That's the beauty. I really do. I have a hope, my brother. I have a hope. T-Bone says, where is Fat O? Why you got to be taking the shots, bro? And then Josh says, somebody's taking a dump. And we don't do that on the road. We try to keep that at home. T-Bone, that jabroni must be getting high now. Okay, so I am taking a dump. I'm getting high. What else could I possibly be doing here at Toyota of Hollywood? You guys are just amazing. Samoans are pretty tough, I agree, but you can't be tough and still be kind of injury prone. Let's see. Football definitely requires a lot of chemistry, knowing when players are going to make a run, timing, defensive tactics, counterattacks. Yes, he's talking about football. Soccer is what he's talking about. You are correct, sir. You are correct on that one. 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, you can also email me. Orlando at Big O Radio Show, of course. You can reach out to us on the YouTube chat board, on the Super Chat. RBA Richmond, by the way, says, hello, Big O. The talk in this area is the Redskins changing their name. What do you think? Well, speaking of that, I saw where Ron Rivera was asked about it, and so was Tony Dungy. And so Ron Rivera, in a discussion, said that he goes, Washington Redskins head coach Ron Rivera still isn't on board with a name change, not yet at least. On a radio show earlier this week, he says it's always been a part of football. Now, Tony Dungy, on the other hand, says he's going to call them the Washington team. And that's been going on slowly but surely. There are announcers who are choosing not to say the nickname. And this is one of those battles that, and I get it because it's historically the team name. It's been identified them with forever. It's actually one of the cooler logos in the NFL. But again, if it is insulting, which it is, to a certain group of individuals, and you know, the only thing that I've been kind of torn with all this is the Indian groups that say it's not a problem for them. And then you have some that say it is. And so it's one of those where I think if you're the Redskins, as much as it pains you to want to part with that name because of the history and everything that's gone with it, you're almost at a point now where you have to understand that the name is insulting to a certain group of individuals. And even though some of them, which is, you know, where I'm torn at times because it's like, okay, so it doesn't bother you? You know what I mean? And that's kind of weird. So then it doesn't bother you because you don't feel it, that it's a shot at the Indians. And, you know, in the end, the fact that you do have a group that is insulted by it and is bothered by it, maybe you're just better off changing it. and just try to adjust to something new. And I get it because it's going to be confusing for some. It's going to be tough to kind of tie one history to another at times in your mind, especially for newer fans as they come along over the next few years. But, I mean, we're at a point now. Look, the world was a different place 50 years ago. Our ignorance level was way higher. 100 years ago, we can't relate to those people. They're like animals compared to us. 200 years ago, 300 years ago, my Lord, we go back to the Roman times and to the Colosseum where we got people dying right there for your entertainment. The level of ignorance and hate and bias that has existed in all of our past. I don't care if you're American, if you're Greek, if you're German, if you're whatever, dude. Every country, every moment, there's something bad for anybody out there. Every flag, every country has its shameful moments. And that's the part that when we start seeing all these statues and all that stuff, we can't necessarily look at all of them like they were all terrible people, because some of them really weren't terrible people. It's just they didn't know any better. Their ignorance was the norm. Okay? It was normal to have gladiators die in a ring fighting a lion, which in today's world, we're like, we would never do that. One, we know we're just serving up a human being to a lion because there's no way the human being is going to win that fight ever. You know what I mean? So the things that used to happen in the past, that was the norm for them because they didn't know any better. They weren't educated enough. I mean, you figure we come from cavemen. Okay? So it wasn't any more animalistic than then. And it just gradually got better. That's all, as we all gradually got educated. And as we realized what was right and what was wrong. You know what I mean? That's how they thought back in those days. So when you really think about it, if you're going to eliminate the history and all that, you're going to eliminate them all, including your grandparents and your great-grandparents, because they came from those ignorant ways. Okay? Plenty of us have that racist or that out-of-touch or that completely nuts grandfather, grandmother, uncle, whatever, that they're, 80, 90, 100 years old and they are set in their ways and they grew up in a completely different era, dude. You know what I mean? And so that's why as we evolve as human beings and as we actually notice that people have different sexual orientations, people have different religions, people have different opinions, okay? And we now understand, we now are learning how to, well, finally, as a society, take everybody else's feelings into account. And now we are way more sensitive, and now we have more awareness of what affects others, where we didn't care 40 years ago, 80 years ago, 150 years ago. I mean, can you imagine? We see these shows that have machines and stuff like that. If we really got into a time machine and took a trip 150 years ago, we would be freaking out. Okay? Freaking out at their hygiene, freaking out at their politics, freaking out at their religion, freaking out at how they think, freaking out less than anything in those days. We would be freaking out at how disgusting they probably were 150 years ago. Okay? I mean, we couldn't live under their standards. We couldn't understand what they're talking about, the way they live. None of that. We can't relate to any of that. So some of these people that were like knocking down, yeah, they were bad people, but they didn't know any better. It's because everybody was like that back then. They were all ignorant to it, at some form or fashion. They all had a ton of ignorance. It's screwed up. It really is. You know, it's just we evolve, and we have evolved as a society, as human beings. But none of us can really ever relate to the people 100, 200, 500 years ago. We would be freaking out if we had to like go into those moments and live and do the things that they do. I mean, they would stone us for thinking the way we think now. They would think we're like, I don't know, Salem witches or something and burn us to the cross or something. You know what I'm saying?
You know, it's a hilarious movie. You ever seen The Black Knight with Martin Lawrence, where he gets thrown back into medieval times?
No.
It's hilarious. Like exactly what some of the comparisons in this, and it's hilarious, man.
We wouldn't be able to.
Jean Reno
ever
does a movie with Christine Applegate where he gets thrown into the future. I don't know if you saw it. And him and his, squire or whatever, because he's a prince, they get into a Mercedes, and they can't handle traveling more than 10 or 15 miles per hour. They're just not used to going up. There's all these weird little simulations. Right. They freak out on flicking a light in the kitchen.
Yeah, man.
But exactly what you're talking about, you think about it, 10,000 years ago, we were still like in a cave. Right. We just got language. They say somewhere around 2000 BC, 3000, like there was development of language and communication.
Right.
The Earth has been here for millions of years. Right. We don't know nothing.
No.
We're, very young in this growth.
All we've done is just, grown, and our ignorance has disappeared slowly but surely on certain things. And
you wish it would be faster.
We just have evolved. But I just love how we're wiping everything out, and it's like, man, you got to kind of think about what those people were back then, and it's just it wasn't right, but they didn't know any better. That's really what
you go back and you look at pictures in the 50s.
What everybody did
in 50s. I mean, people are wearing full suits at baseball games in the summertime.
Right, yeah.
I mean, like, hello.
Yeah.
You do know it's hot. This is summer, and you're here with a hat and a coat and a tie at a game.
Hank Stram was wearing a suit.
Yes.
You never see that. That doesn't happen ever in the NFL. You could never tell a coach now wear a suit on the sideline.
And they were so backward ass. They wore suits to games,
to give you an idea. It was just different, man.
Yes.
It's just different, man. Put them all in museums or whatever. That's fine. I got no problem with it. Teach people the past. Teach them how ignorant they were and all of that. We're better because of it, actually. Think about that. I mean, the fact that they did all those mistakes and everything that they did allowed us to learn and figure, okay, wait a minute, dude, this is not right. Okay? Women have to vote. That it has to be treated equally. Black people cannot be sitting in the back of a bus and white people sit in the front. They can't be drinking from a different fountain. But those idiots didn't know any better. That's how they thought life was supposed to be. Disgusting, but it's like, I don't know. The farther we go back in time, the closer we were to animals. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what it is. It's how terrible it is. It's just disgusting. But again, the good thing is what we get to do is learn from all of this.
Well, hopefully you learn.
No, we have. No, we have. Bro.
We have. We're making strides, but you wish it would be more accelerated, okay?
I of course.
One of the best.
But we have learned. We have evolved.
We have
that's
come.
what
We
we're
have
doing.
come. Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
We still got a long ways to go, though.
Yeah.
One of the smartest guys. I think the DJ's name is Wish from England when they were doing the one of the statues in the river, and he said, "Look, you want to do history in this? We could do this in books, and we could do this on computers. We don't need monuments and statues and stuff."
Yeah.
I thought that was perfect.
George says, did you know that less than 10% of Indians polled find it insulting? So what's next? I know. I've talked to a few of them that have told me it doesn't bother me at all.
Some of them have said they're proud because of the way the Redskins play and represent.
And the logo also. It's not.
It looks tough.
It's not like the Major League Baseball one.
Oh yes,
the Indian from Major League.
Cleveland. It looks
kind of looks kind of goofy. The one in the movie.
Yes,
it's not like that. You know that Redskin one looks like
it's about a warrior.
Yeah, exactly.
A badass.
Yeah, a badass. You know what I mean? But that's how it is. Bill, I'm very fond of you. Black Knight was a terrible film.
Look, I'm not saying it's great or anything like that, but it has some moments, man. There's some lines in there, and the way Martin Lawrence is, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
We learn from our past, open to the past, so we can move forward to a better society of the future. And you know what? That's what we are doing, aren't we? That's how we're learning that. Well, we already learned it, but that's what we've learned over the years, that we don't treat women equally. Now we're trying to do everything we can to make it equal. You know what I mean? That's what we've done from the beginning of, time. And we finally, and years ago, obviously with Abe and on, we figured out, okay, we got to end slavery, and we did. And so it takes us a while to kind of figure out, hey, this is right, this is wrong. You know what I mean? And for, 70s, in the 80s, 90s, you could be an open homophobe, and you could get away with it. And people even if they hated it, they kind of like tolerated it and left it aside. Now, can you do it? No. Now you're gonna be called out for it. You know what I mean? So we evolve. It's sad that we were all where we were. You know what I mean? But at least I'm proud that we've learned from it, and we're all getting better overall.
You know what? Whenever we've gone through this, we've gotten to a point, you know what I mean? And then it stops. It doesn't continue to carry momentum and move forward. Hopefully what's going on today will continue, you know what I mean? And there won't be like that stoppage and we're stuck at this level. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It'll ride and carry all the way through.
Yeah. We're not even close to where we are just changing things by removing statues, monuments, people's attitudes. It's a different perception is still strong. Again, Rosendo, I'll disagree with you 1,000%. Because when you say we're not close to changing, we just have a black president for 8 years. We have gay councilmen, gay governors, women senators, women councilmen, women governors. We have made a lot of progress. We are protecting people's rights more than ever. Women, gays, minorities, all of that. We're doing a much better job of that, of understanding each other in a way, protecting each other. So I disagree with you, my brother. We have made a ton of progress. I just will not allow those that hate and those that are still the haters and the ones that are the defiants. I'm not going to let those people bring the majority down. Okay,
no, we've made progress. You can't make light of the progress we've made. We haven't done any. We have, but we still have a ways to go.
Of course.
But we have to. Hey, look at what we've done in the last 10 or 15 years. Where we've come, we have made huge strides.
Enormous.
Still got a good ways to go, though.
Enormous. There are more. It's more open to have interracial relationships now. It's
allowing gay couples to adopt a child.
That's
man.
right.
We've getting medical, being acknowledged as a couple. There's some things that have occurred.
We've made a ton of progress. So people like you, Rosendo, that look at it completely negative,
Our glass is half full, right?
In a way, I kind of feel bad for you because if you're not even willing to look around and see how much change we've made, then you're kind of hurting the progress that has been made. Keep shooting it all down when it's actually there's a lot of progress being made. Are we where we need to be? Hell no. But we made a lot of progress, man. Okay? A ton. I'm sorry. I couldn't disagree with you more. You know what I'm saying? It's the problem is are biased or hateful. They're loud. They're not even close to the majority, but they're loud. You know?
Perfect example, the white power guy.
Right.
You know, they're all screaming. Right. Any of the people that have been in actually chambers, council chambers, cities, state, yelling about the mass killing. You see how they're screaming and going nuts.
Yeah. Oh, I get it. Oh. How have we gotten worse in a lot of ways, George? What ways are we that much worse? I don't know. Did you see where the BLM supporters beat up the gay state senator in Wisconsin after they tore down the statue? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Those aren't, in my eyes, those aren't protesters. Those are the people that just want to, those are criminals. Like I've said before, if you're looting and you're setting stuff on fire, then you're a criminal. That's all. There's no protesting there. There's plenty of protesters, and they're peaceful. Most of them are. You know what I mean?
Those are the subversive elements that those entities.
If you've watched protesting for 50 years, there's always a group that is going to go out there and cause anarchy. But I can't hold what black. It's kind of like what the president's doing now that he's calling Black Lives Matter a hurtful or what is it he called it a something organization, a hateful organization or something. And okay, if there are certain couple people that are bad, that's different. But the whole movement and what everybody's fighting for, that's what that really is about. Not about a couple people that might be misdirected. You know what I mean? So I'm going to fight for blacks overall. I'm not gonna worry about like the idiots in the autonomous zone. You think I was for an autonomous zone? That's the dumbest thing in the world, dude. I'm no Trump, man. I'm not in a, but there are things that I got to agree with, like an autonomous zone. That was stupid on behalf of the Seattle governor.
They allowed that to sit there like that.
Yeah.
The fact that they finally got rid of it yesterday, I guess.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah, man.
It's embarrassing.
You can't let subversive groups like that take over the city because to a degree they're terrorizing the city.
Exactly. And I was watching some of those interviews yesterday, the idiots in the autonomous zone, and they're like, oh, where do we go now? And I'm like, dude, get a job, get a life, and go get an apartment, bro. That's what I say to all those losers in the autonomous zone. Okay? That's what it seemed like to me the autonomous zone was. A bunch of people that didn't want to work, and they go, oh, we can take up this spot and pitch a tent. Bro, be like every American, real American that wants to protest. You go protest quietly, peacefully, then you go home. You got a home, you got a job, you got a life. You know what I'm saying? Para mí, the autonomous zone era uno descarado. You know what I'm saying? That's what they were. I saw that autonomous zone. It's like, what is this for the movement, bro? This does nothing for the movement. Give a bunch of bums and hippies the 3 blocks so they could just hang out. Get the hell out of here. Sweep their asses out of here and let's get back to life. Let's fill that damn police department up again and let's go. Let's get a autonomous zone.
You know where I think they're headed?
Summer of love. What the hell is that? Remember what I keep telling you guys, okay? What screws up this country is the extreme on the left and the extreme on the right, okay? That's why I pick on Democrats and Republicans, because stupidity like the autonomous zone is the kind of extremes that I'm talking about, okay? And you got what is in Alabama? Well, now against they're trying to reverse abortions, right?
Roe versus Wade.
Yeah, these are the extremes that I'm talking about on each end. That's what screws up this country. It's not really the average Republican, average Democrat that are more closer to the middle. I think that group can come to an agreement. It's the extremes. It's the people that are way too liberal and way too conservative. Those are the ones that screw up this country. Okay?
You know where the autonomous...
But again, I don't choose a side, so I get to like pick and choose, and I see what's good and what's bad on each side. You know what I'm saying? And when you get like that kind of crap, the autonomous zone, eso para dar unos pecosones, unos aviones, and kick their asses out. Okay? Go get a job, dude.
You know where they're going?
That's every time I saw somebody in the autonomous zone, I was like, go get a job. Okay? I know what you're trying to do, dude. You're not doing no, you're not part of no movement. You're trying to find a spot where you don't have to pay rent. Okay?
I was just going to say, they're either going to the homeless shelter, they're going to somebody's couch, or out in the woods to go camp out someplace where they can, like they do, what is it in California? They take over like the side of the mountain and stuff, and they make like a little city or whatever.
Right.
This is exactly what these people are.
Hey, go find a mountain, bro. That's fine with me, but don't do it in our streets. Get the hell out of here. And what, you're going to take over a police station?
Did you see that one of the corporations is dipping and going to, I think, Vegas, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We're talking about a $2 or $3 billion business.
Why would you?
Yes.
Why would
subject yourself to that?
Why would you want to be in a
I don't
city?
need a disruption constantly in my corporation.
Under a mayor like that.
Yeah.
Give me a break, dude. It's like ridiculous, bro. Extremes are a destroyer of the. I'm telling you, it's what it is.
At any given moment, these idiots can shut down our operation. No, man, can't have that.
You guys are making this crap up. It's very disingenuous. What are we making up? What am I making up? Did I make up something? Yeah, BLM has no leader. That's what I'm saying, that it's a movement, but they target like a couple of people that are part of some group. That's how they're targeting at the top. And that's exactly my point, that there is no leader. It's the people. That's what I'm saying. So it's like Trump was ripping that they're going to put Black Lives Matter right in front of his Park Avenue apartments. So he's all pissed off about that. That's because, he's a hateful person. That's all. But yeah, no, I'm with you, Jean-Luc. There is no leader. It's people. We're fighting for people. I'm with you all the way. Definitely. All right, 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, that's 786-322-1105. Man of 1,005 holes says Black Knight was ill. So you're now getting outnumbered on the Black Knight, by the way. Okay?
Like I said, there's a few scenes, man, that are just like hilarious.
They're calling you out, bro. They're calling out. Jean-Luc says, not you, Big O. I'm talking to the chat. They're saying a whole bunch of BLM conspiracies. Oh, okay. All right. You know how it is. I can't keep up with you guys on the chat because then you all are doing all these that's why I say the accidentlawfirm.com text line is the easiest way for me to get questions because I can find them a lot faster than in the chat. And obviously the super chat stands out like a sore thumb as it is. So many ways. All right, let's do this. I went 42 minutes here.
I was going to say, you want to go 3 more, man, and get that 45
Well, I
mark?
started a little late because I was talking with Steve and the boys.
Okay.
What's it called? Let's take a quick break. We'll come back on the other side. Got a bunch of things to talk about. I got something. There's somebody out there that you wouldn't want corona. If they get corona, they could spread it to millions. Just one person. I'll tell you who that is next.
It's a buyer's market at Toyota of Hollywood. Over 1,500 Toyotas on the ground, and truckloads just keep on coming. Now pay up to 50% less. 2020 Camry, not $29,000, $17,775. 2020 Corolla, not $22,000, $13,775. Buy a new 2020 Toyota with 0 down and 0% financing, or we'll make your payments till 2021 at Toyota of Hollywood. The #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
We back. We take it till 2 out here at Toyota of Hollywood. Come on out here. I see Herbie Lopez out there. He is waiting for you. They're all waiting for you out here. Lori Rodriguez is out here. So many people. Ooh, that bread looks good. What is that? What is she spreading out, man? Look at that. That bread there. It's got a basket of all kinds of different breads. Bread is so dangerous. So dangerous, so good, so dangerous. Anyway, plenty of things to talk about here on the show. If you want to get in, it's really simple. 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, you can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Follow us there, as always, because that is a 24-hour talk show. I think I figured out why there's a spike in coronavirus cases in this country. And it usually takes a little while for the cycle to take over. And I figured it out. I did some investigating, Bill. The numbers went up to 51,000 yesterday. And
biggest single day.
Highest single day mark since this whole thing started. Even when we were in our peak a couple of months ago, this thing is higher than that, right? And right now, I could give you the numbers right now because I've got the world meter right now going on. And they've got 22,000 cases at 12:47. 229 Americans have already lost their lives today. Brazil is slightly ahead of us at 23,515. We were ahead of Brazil in cases, not death. Yesterday in death, we went to 676. They went to 1,057. Okay? So that's what's going on. But I figured out why we have a spike right now going on in this country. Did you guys know that Bill Cowher had the coronavirus? That's right. Former Steeler head coach, Hall of Famer Bill Cowher says you can add him to the list of sports figures who have battled the coronavirus. Cowher told The Athletic that he and his wife, Veronica, known by stage name Queen V, weren't tested for the virus when they were affected with symptoms in March. But they did test positive for antibodies a month later. Cowher and Stiegler first realized something was wrong, listen to this, when they lost their sense of smell and taste after returning from a trip in Honolulu. A last-minute change from their originally planned trip to visit Cowher's daughter, Lindsay, and son-in-law, Ryan, in Tokyo. Kelly, a former NBA player, was playing in Japan's B League when the league suspended play in early March. On the way back, they flew through Newark, Liberty International Airport and went to dinner in New York City before restaurants began closing. After that, Cowher told The Athletic he and his wife began experiencing what would eventually be the telltale coronavirus symptoms. In addition to the loss of smell and taste, both had shaky joints. Cowher had a slight fever. His wife had a dry cough. I think I got it in New York, and all the traveling, people coming in Newark Airport at the same time. That's when the virus came from Europe, and there was no shutdown. We were out in New York that weekend as well, in a few restaurants. Who knows? There were people in Honolulu coming from China, and in Newark, they were coming from Europe. Cowher and his wife have recovered from the virus. Nobody spits like Cowher. He wasn't wearing a mask at that time. He was probably talking up a ton of spit all over the place, and Cowher probably alone affected at least 100,000 people. I mean, because think about it. The average person, when you talk, it travels 8 feet. Bill Cowher has super spit. It travels about 80 feet. So he covers a lot. So can you imagine Cowher's just talking, he's just bah, 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 bah. Oh, it's over. It's over. Cowher is the reason why we have the spike in this country right now. Okay? Nobody spits like that guy. I mean, think about this. He would have killed everybody coming off the sideline if he had corona back in the day. Seriously, I mean, he's in New York screaming. His spit is landing in Maine. I mean, it's crazy. Bill Cowher is the reason why we have a spike in this country right now. Just saying. I just want to make sure you guys know what's going on. So there isn't a muzzle that can stop Bill Cowher. Okay? It could be made of Kevlar. That thing's going to be spraying all over the place. I'm telling you. Super spit will take you to other levels, man. So, Bill Cowher, thank you for giving us a second wave here. And no, actually just extending the first wave is what Bill Cowher was doing. Which is not, by the way, it's not a decent thing on Bill Cowher's part that he's actually doing that. Now, the other story that I saw was Rick Pitino. There aren't a lot of things that I want to hear Rick talk about, right? I mean, Rick Pitino, basketball's one, maybe good prostitutes. I don't know. I mean, there's a couple conversations you want to have with Rick Pitino, right? So we've got the upcoming basketball season, college, of course, because Iona was stupid enough to hire him. So Rick Pitino has some suggestions for college basketball. And I got to tell you something. Basketball and prostitution, two subjects I want to talk to Rick about, right? But I got to say, he's got some good advice here, okay? Pitino said on Wednesday that the NCAA should run the 2021 college basketball season, okay? But he thinks they should push it back to the start of January and only play conference games. He tweets out suggestion to NCAA. Push the start of the season back to January and only play league games. Buy some more time for a vaccine and to get things under control. Although I can't wait to get back on the sidelines, the health of my players, staff, and prostitutes is what's really important. I'm sorry. He just said staff and players. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that. Anyway, so the college basketball season, as you all know, starts in November. I think Rick actually makes a lot of sense. I gotta give Rick a little love on this one. I can't pick. I think is it a genius idea on Rick's part that to move it to January. It buys you time. Maybe the vaccine is out by then. You play only conference games. So you shorten the season, you shorten the opportunity to get sick, I kind of like it. I think that makes a lot of sense by Rick Pitino.
Wants things to get normalized so he could get to a whorehouse faster.
Well, maybe.
Let's not lose sight of what his primary goal is.
Okay, listen. If you were 70-something years old like Rick, and you know you can survive an STD but not Corona, you'd feel the same way too, bro. I mean, come on. So
I understand him and Mr. Kraft are planning on hanging out and hitting an Asian day spa.
That's it. They've got a couple of those right outside the Iona campus. They just popped up.
They just popped up because of Rick's appearance.
Popped up. Yeah.
We got to take care of the coach.
Yeah, Mr. Kraft and Pitino, investors of the Asian Day Spa, and they expanded to the Iona campus, just off of it. So you can get off. 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. You can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Follow us there as always, because that, my friends, is what we call a 24-hour talk show there. So Rick Pitino with some suggestions. Some actual...
see where this guy's gone. You remember back in the day how close the Canes came to getting him. Can you imagine that guy in Miami?
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I now figured out why Rick Pitino really never came to UM. I figured it out now. See, the thing you guys don't realize is Coral Gables is a real pain in the ass. And to get the permits for a brothel, it's really difficult.
That ain't going to happen, man.
It's not going to happen in Coral Gables.
Bro. They're very protective of their property values.
Not only that, you can't even put the garbage can in the wrong place in Coral Gables. I mean, and plus, a place like that is going to need satellite service. They don't really want satellites there. When he found out the Coral Gables laws and how difficult it is for construction,
think about it,
approval of a brothel, all these things, these are important things to Rick Pitino.
They would not let the stadium sell all the tickets. Remember that?
Yeah,
because of the parking around the area. No, you can sell 5,000, but you can't sell the full capacity 8,000. Those 3,000 can't go because we don't have parking.
I think
that's crazy.
Brothel was the deal breaker. I'm pretty sure it was.
You probably are onto something there, man.
I think so. 786-322-1105. Jean-Luc says, yo, it's hard to believe, but Ron Jeremy did that. He did what? What did he do?
He must be talking about him being a rapist.
See, Rick P. wants to hang out with his boy, Ron Jeremy. Okay. All right.
Just go to the Rainbow Room.
Ron Jeremy. Gotta love that. Did you guys see that they're going to make a Kurt Warner movie? Now, look, Kurt Warner, a heck of a quarterback. It is a great story. All right, you fail to get a job in the NFL. Groceries. You go to the Rams and you become an NFL MVP and a Super Bowl champion, all that stuff, and one of the more entertaining offenses in the history of the NFL. And I'll tell you what, one of the things I love watching Kurt Warner do is throw the ball. Because he had some accuracy, dude, that was just nasty. Ball placement was just exceptional, man. And Holt and Isaac Bruce never had to slow down one bit with that guy. It was a lot of fun, man. And Marshall Faulk coming out of the backfield, that was a lot of fun to watch that. And I give him a lot of credit for what he did and what he accomplished. He looked terrible with the Giants. Resurrected his career again with the Cardinals. They got to a Super Bowl. They didn't win it, but still, you get the Cardinals to a Super Bowl, man, that's a hell of an accomplishment, okay? Just getting there. So now Zachary Levi is set to play Kurt Warner in the upcoming biopic on the NFL Hall of Famer's life. And Kurt Warner is pumped up. It says the NFL Hall of Famer's journey from working at a grocery store to winning the Super Bowl is getting Hollywood treatment with a flick called American Underdog. It's set to begin production later this year. Levi, who starred his superhero flick Shazam, says he's beyond pumped for the role. I've always found Kurt Warner and his family and their journey to be uplifting and inspiring one. Can't wait to bring their story to the screen, both large and small. And judging by Kurt's reply, the feeling is mutual. What a crazy, amazing journey this has been. Now I'm going to be played by a superhero. Excited that you, Zachary, are taking this ride with us. Can't wait to see you deliver our story to the big screen. I still believe directors John and Andrew Irwin are set to take the helm for the Kurt Warner flick, and they're convinced Levi is the perfect actor for the role. Zachary was our first and only choice. Okay, and hopefully he does a great job with it. But can I say one thing about this? Boring! That's the only thing. Kurt Warner is a really nice guy, okay? I doubt there's anything really sexy about that story.
No juiciness going on there?
Nothing, dude. Kurt Warner is just like a really great human being. And he's really religious, and there's nothing wrong with that. But he's also really, it's like Tim Tebow. You know Tim Tebow's boring, right? He's boring. There's nothing about Tebow. It's like once in a while you get him on the air and he'll say something cute or something, but his life is boring. He doesn't party. He doesn't hang out with chicks. He doesn't do anything exciting. It's just, he's just a regular dude. He's just a smart dude that doesn't really. And, you know, in our world, we need train wrecks. In our world, we need chaos. You know, that's what sells. It's Michael Jordan ripping into his the Scottie Pippen stuff, the Rodman stuff, the Jerry Krause stuff. I mean, everything from the beginning. The first year I was there, they're doing cocaine and drugs and all that, and you know, this is why you watch.
Carmen Electra hiding behind the couch.
Exactly, or under the bed, you know, under the sheets, you know. Although Michael should have lifted like, oh, okay. All right, so anyway.
Big glasses of scotch and 3 cigars ready to be lit.
Exactly, dude. I mean, it's just awesome. You know, that's what we want to watch. Kurt Warner is going to give you a story that's going to have no meat on the bone whatsoever.
I'll tell you where they should open it up,
What?
After school special.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably
right?
that's Kurt Warner is an ABC afternoon school special. You get home at 3:00, and then, you know, some kid comes out, some wholesome looking kid, and tells you, hey, you can be anything you want. Never give up. Here's the Kurt Warner story. And that's it. And that's kind of where it goes. That would make a lot of sense. That, Bill, an after school special. That would be the perfect thing for Kurt Warner. I saw that, and it was like, okay, I get it. Great quarterback and all of that. His story is going to be boring as hell. Okay? Even if you don't like Lance Armstrong, it was a train wreck, and it didn't get great ratings. The Sosa McGuire thing also did not get great ratings, but there's still train wreck elements to it. Can you imagine a Kurt Warner story that has no train wrecks at all? It doesn't even have a door dent.
Look, the scene that would be the most exciting, right? Imagine him bagging groceries, stocking the shelf at the grocery store, right? And then finding out he's got another football job, right? And like, I'm out of here. Y'all can, and it won't. It'll walk over to thank you so much for the opportunity. You know, if things don't go, I want to come back. You know what I mean? There isn't that send off, kiss mine, I'm gone. Y'all have fun. You know, no, it'll be very pedestrian, very nice, very thank you, you know.
Yep. Jesse in Minneapolis, always a big supporter of the program and chiming in with a super chat.
What the hell?
Super chat.
That took guts. We need guts. I told you I can totally
super chat.
So you think you got what it takes?
You have no skills.
This is permanent.
Good job.
I'm promoting you.
You got a lot of problems, don't you?
Take pride in that.
Jesse says, okay, fellas, I want to thank you, you two, for the continued entertainment during this time of no sports and virus upheaval. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you, Jesse. Appreciate you. That's very kind, as always, all of you. Just too kind, man.
We tried just a little bit.
Just a tad. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll come back on the other side. I've got, I've got maybe some COVID relief for you. Something you can use to maybe protect yourself from COVID. I've got a young player that continues to impress the crap out of me. I've got somebody else that is worried about the upcoming NBA season. What else do we have here to talk about? Ooh, something on television that you guys may be looking forward to, maybe not. A bunch of music notes, too, that we got to get through. Bunch of stuff. At 1:30, we will be joined, of course, by Franco Panizo. We'll talk a little Inter Miami as they added another player yesterday as they head to Orlando. We'll do that at 1:30. Hour number 3 is next.
It's a buyer's market at Toyota of Hollywood. Over 1,500 Toyotas on the ground, and truckloads just keep on coming. Now pay up to 50% less. 2020 Camry, not $29,000, $17,775. 2020 Corolla, not $22,000, $13,775. Buy a new 2020 Toyota with 0 down and 0% financing, or we'll make your payments till 2021 at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
All right, we back. Yes, we take it till about 2 here. Franco Panizo is going to join us, by the way, at the bottom of the hour, so we'll have a little fun with him as always. George says, no way, Big O. Who doesn't like the underdog storyline making it to the top? Sick Child 2, Hallmark Network.
You know what I'm thinking?
He nailed it, dude. You nailed it with After School Special.
Right.
And he nailed it with Hallmark, bro.
Hallmark Channel.
Come on, man.
You know what they're doing right now? I could tell you, my parents, they love
like yours doesn't exist anymore. Well, we grew up with the Afternoon School Special, but this is still around Hallmark, so he kind of got the baton from you.
Oh, this is current. We can currently put it on this platform.
Right,
yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah.
Hallmark, it's perfect.
Hallmark, that's the one. Nice job.
I guess, what's her name? The Wonder Years girl that does all the Hallmark movies.
Oh, yes.
She can play his wife.
Yes.
There you go. We're even getting the cast set up.
Yep.
Ray
says, I can't wait to see the Warner movie, especially the action part that shows him restocking the shelves in the supermarket.
Yeah,
very intense.
What's the most controversial after school special? Can you name it? Do you remember it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Return to Witch Mountain. What? How are you going to return?
No.
You can't return. It was bad the first time. Don't go back.
Was that a after school special?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
No, it wasn't. That was a movie. That was an ABC. I mean, a Walt Disney World thing. No. What? Do you remember what it was? I could tell you, You don't remember?
No.
It had a Michael Phelps element to it. The brother was the swimmer.
Smoking in a bong?
The Scott Bale was the goody two-shoe kid that had the skateboard pushed over to him, that had the little compartment underneath, that had the weed, and he got into smoking, remember? And his brother's attempting to be the Olympic swimmer.
No.
And he's in the canoe, and he's stoned, and he knocked out, and he can't, try to qualify for the Olympics.
I don't remember it.
That was the most controversial after-school special. Yes, Scott Bale.
All right.
You don't remember that one, man?
No, I don't. Not at all. They should have a movie about Lawrence Taylor. No. Okay, up until the child prostitution stuff. That's the problem. That if you Herman or Herman says Warner likes Tua's play, so now I like Warner more. Yeah, well, definitely. I think everybody pretty much likes Tua overall. Of course, you're gonna have a couple of detractors, but very few people pick on him on the football side. The only legitimate thing that you can really hammer the kid on is that he's fragile, and that his body breaks down a lot. That's it, and those are legitimate. And even if he doesn't want to call it legitimate, he should be that way, by the way. But that's about the only real knock on that young man. 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, you can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. The maturity of Kyler Murray. And I'll tell you this. Kyler Murray is one of those cats, and I'll say it over and over again. I worry about him with his size, right? And he got away last year with it, didn't take any real big hits. I still have a concern with that. My concern has never been his arm, his ability, his mobility, his accuracy, actually, because the kid is accurate. He actually can throw from the pocket. You know what I mean? But I worry about him physically holding up. Now, he was able to do it last year. Maybe he's got that gift like Russell Wilson, because he is. You know how we were talking about earlier how some people compare Russell to Breeze or Russell Wilson. I mean, Tua to Russell Wilson or Breeze. And like you were saying, well, I think he might be more like Russ. I was telling you, no, he's more like Breeze. This kid is more like Russell Wilson. Because he's super athletic. He can move around. He's got wheels. He's got serious wheels. You know what I'm saying? And the other day, he paid for all his guys to go down to Texas and work out with him, right? That is incredible maturity. In a year where you don't have an off season, He's creating a little mini camp for himself, for his guys. He's the leader of the team, right? He's the quarterback. Those are the moments that shows that you understand your leadership qualities. Now, forget the COVID stuff aside. I know it wasn't really the smartest thing to do on the COVID part, but preparation-wise, it is what it is. Hey, listen, hopefully everybody was tested. Everybody was
He's
good.
young. He's not going to be perfect. He's trying to do the right thing, but at the wrong time, right?
Hey, listen, you and I have been working right through a pandemic. Right through a pandemic, we've been working. Okay?
But we've been super responsible.
Yes.
And the environment that we're in allows us to.
But my point is, he's doing the same thing. He's kind of grinding through it also, okay?
Do what you can.
Yeah, exactly. And so, but he showed you maturity in that sense, right? Here's another thing that I just become a bigger fan of this kid every day, and I hope that he never takes that big hit because obviously he's not a big guy. Kyler Murray was sacked a league high 48 times last year. He was tied with Matt Ryan and Russell Wilson. Cardinals quarterback, by the way, took the blame for most of those takedowns, according to Kevin Patra of NFL.com. He goes, last year, a lot of those sacks, I feel, were on me. Most would look at the Cardinals' offensive line struggles last season and pin the blame on them for all the times Murray ate a sack. There's a growing realization, however, that sacks are actually a quarterback stat. You can read about it here or anywhere else. The basic premise states that the QB has the ability to overcome pressure by recognizing it pre-snap and getting the ball out quicker and throwing it away. A la who? Dan Marino. That's why his lines were so awesome. It's not because they were completely awesome. It's because Dan Marino was completely awesome. Anyway, taking a check down to avoid a sack or wiggling away from a defender. He has so many avenues to avoid a sack than his blockers do, especially when they're outnumbered or outgained. The best signal callers help their offensive lines by avoiding QB takedowns, sometimes before the play even starts. I don't think I'll be putting those guys in that situation too many times anymore, he said. If it happens, it happens. But I think we'll be a lot better just from experience. Do you know why I bring that up? Guess who we used to talk about all the time for 7 years, and some of you used to make a whole bunch of facts. Oh, no, it's the line. It's this, Tannehill. And people like me would keep saying, no. It's him taking those sacks. He's got to see the guy coming at him. And plenty of times he would not see the guy. Plenty of times he would hold on to the damn ball. Plenty of times he took sacks that he wasn't supposed to take. And I really believe what that writer just said because I watched Marino his entire career. And Marino refused to take a sack. Let me repeat that again. Marino refused to take a sack. That's what good quarterbacks do. They find a way to get rid of the ball. They dump it off, they throw it away, whatever. They don't take the sack. And you watch the Marino every year, he wasn't sacked a lot. And again, Richmond Webb and Keith Sims were fantastic. I love those guys.
Those lines consistently, few sacks in the league.
The five guys that were there, they were not a great line ever. Listen to me, ever. The line of Richmond Webb and Keith Sims will never come even close to Kuchenberg and Larry Little.
Norm Evans, Jim Langer.
Nothing even close. When they had Dwight Stevenson there for a little bit, now you're certain with it because Stevenson was slightly better than Langer. Okay, fine.
Wayne Moore, got to get him in, man. They always forget about him.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. But my point is that the quarterback makes up for a lot of what you do. And pre-snap, he's got to know where that extra blitzer is coming from. And Marino knew about it every time. So when Marino gave up 10, 12, 14, 16 sacks a year, it's because you barely could get to him because he knew. So when you did get to him, man, it was a miracle. and he really didn't see you coming. That kind of thing. And I love the fact that this kid, Kyler Murray, doesn't allow his teammates to take any blame whatsoever, which we know. The offensive line's to blame some, of course. Every offensive line's to blame some.
If you're leading the league in sacks, your offensive line has some of the blame.
Some. But there's no doubt that if you're leading in sacks, it's your quarterback that doesn't know how to read and react properly all the time.
I got a question for you.
That's it.
I got a question for you. Is pre-draft.
And by the way, notice how a lot of the times they're athletic quarterbacks that lead the league in sacks. You saw there, Russell Wilson.
Trying to prolong, trying to do too much,
right.
Thinking, I can
do them, but
throw it away.
No
throw away, live another day. Try to actually do something.
Tannehill, a lot of times, because he's a mobile quarterback.
I got a great question for you here. Is pre-snap work and read something that you don't need to do on the field that you could actually do, film, study?
Yes.
They're setting this. You don't have to actually under center out on the practice field, even if it's just a walkthrough.
Well, you
could do some class. This is more classroom.
Yes.
This is just working your craft.
Yeah, because because that's all on film.
Right. Homework.
Every formation's on film. Every way they went about it is on film.
So if you're not,
you should be able to.
If you're not better,
you should be able to sit there with your QB coach and your offensive coordinator, and they could point it all out for you.
So can we put this to, if you're not better at pre-snap, you're just lazy?
Well, I'll give you an example. When Randall Cunningham had that great year with Minnesota.
Oh, yeah. They rewrote all the offensive records, scoring everything.
So Brian Billick, yes. Brian Billick, what he did was he had Cunningham and company come to the line with about 25 seconds left on the clock. Could not hear Brian, so he wanted him set under center under the 20-second mark, so the last couple of seconds he could see, and he would tell him, left side's going to be open, right side's going to be open, watch out, you got the extra blitzer coming on the right side. So Randall had a little bit of an assist in all of that. This past year in the XFL, the kid for Houston, who tore up the league, had those defenses, and it gave him a little bit of an advantage there because it kind of walked him through it.
It's smart. You don't have to be Peyton Manning, the coach. You actually have the coach in your ear helping you.
Yes.
Makes sense.
Yes, but it also
isn't that kid with Carolina? He's a Panther.
Yes,
that's the kid from Houston we're talking about.
Yes,
he got signed by.
Yes, I think it was. I think it was Carolina. Yes,
I'm sitting here. I'm like, God, he got signed by the NFL. It was really good.
Oh, super chat.
What the hell?
Super chat.
That took guts. We need guts.
I told you I can totally
super chat.
So you think you got what it takes?
This is permanent.
Good job.
I'm promoting you.
You got a lot of problems, don't you?
Take pride in that.
There you go. There you go. So nice job. Thank you, DraftKings, FanDuel, GPP Central. Very cool on your part. Appreciate you giving us a little love there on the super chat. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, you can reach out to us, 786-322-1105. Did you mention yet the arrest of Ghislaine Maxwell? She was the cohort in Jeffrey Epstein. Hopefully she won't be silenced. I didn't get into it, but somebody mentioned it, and I just said, hey, I'm glad that she got arrested, and I don't know, can we give her the electric chair if she's part of this? Because when it comes to, trafficking children and sexually raping them, insulting them, I kind of have a problem with that. And if she had anything to do with that, ugh. Yeah. Rich V says, Big O loved Tannenbaum. You know, obviously I'm not a fan of his on the football side. He's really not a bad person, and I feel bad sometimes now when I pick on him. I'll be honest, I do. Why? I'm lying in a hospital with, the issue in my heart and stents, and I get flowers from the Dolphins, and Mike Tannenbaum is the one that signs the card and wishes me well and all that, and it's like,
oh, wow.
You didn't know that?
No.
You didn't know Mike Tannenbaum sent me flowers at the hospital.
That's a hell of a guy, man.
I know. No, he's a nice guy. I told him to.
He's a really good accountant. Is that like he's not a football?
Years ago, I was doing an interview with him at the Senior Bowl, and I told, hey, Mike, I want you to know I'm going to ask you a bunch of tough questions, but it's not because I want to bust your balls. I told him, look, man, I think you're a nice guy. People tell me, a lot of people that have worked with you tell me you're a nice guy. Okay, I just disagree with you fundamentally when it comes to building a football team, and I question a lot of that stuff. But I want you to know that I kind of compartmentalize the two. It's not personal. It's completely professional, okay? I got nothing personal against you. I just don't think you're the right person to run a football team. I told him straight to his face. I told him that, okay? And just like to his face, I asked him a whole bunch of, like he gave me the Sue and Nathaniel contracts, and I told him, come on, man, nobody makes it work with two quarterbacks. Because that's what he was paying. At that time, he was paying two quarterback salaries. And, he gave me some BS. So we macro manage our salary cap where one salary's high, 1 year, then it goes down, and the Sue deal goes up. And then a couple months later, he then guarantees more portions of Sue's contract because he needed the cap space. And so now both contracts are high every year. It's whatever. But
that's why we were paying that guy for 2 years after he was off our roster.
Yeah, not a bad person, just a bad football person. That's all it is. You know what I mean? So I really don't have anything against the guy because he's a decent dude. I just don't want him running my football team. That's all. I just don't want him anywhere near the Dolphins. I mean, if the Jets want to hire Mike Tannenbaum, more power to you, bro. Okay?
So that day you're in the hospital.
I know.
And you get flowers.
I almost had a heart attack.
Was it the wife? Was it the wife that, like, hey, you're never gonna? Or did you actually see it?
No. She gave me she brought the flowers in.
Okay.
And she goes, "This is from the Dolphins." And I go, "Really? Wow. Okay, that's very nice of them." So I grabbed the card, and it's Mike Tannenbaum on the card. And I'm like, "Wow, this is the guy I rip all the time."
Did you feel like as little as could?
I didn't feel little. I felt bad, but I didn't feel little because I'm doing my job.
Okay. All right.
I'm sorry, bro. I just...
You know what I mean, though. Man,
I don't make it personal.
You cringe.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I cringed because the guy's doing something nice, but then again, I'm cynical too, right? Because I've been at this for 30 years.
You've seen a lot.
So is it like, are you sending me the flowers in a moment of weakness so when I do get out, I'm soft on you the rest of the way? Yeah, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, bro. Not doing that.
I got an idea. I'm going to make my future interviews with him easy.
Right. Yeah, maybe he won't rip me on the air anymore. Yeah, that's not going to happen either, bro. I'll give you love for sending me the flowers. I'll thank you. I'll tell people, hey, you're a decent dude. But overall, football-wise, I don't want you anywhere near the Dolphins, bro. I don't want you anywhere near the Dolphins. I'm sorry.
Yes, FTD, I have a plan with an ulterior motive. I need your assistance.
Yeah, man, I can't do it, man. I can't do it. All right, 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, you can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. I tell you, basketball is the one sport where I have hope that this whole bubble thing will work out. Damian Lillard, by the way, who is headed to Orlando in the bubble, he's kind of questioning what's going on. On Wednesday, he was asked about it. He goes, my confidence ain't great, per Royce Young of ESPN. My confidence ain't great because you're telling me you're going to have 22 teams full of players following all the rules. When we have 100% freedom, everybody don't follow all the rules. I don't have much confidence, but hopefully it'll be handled to a point where we're not putting everybody at risk or in a dangerous position. Now, you're supposed to not be able to leave the bubble. And if you do, then you've got to get quarantined. So, now Damian knows these players a lot better than I do. And so I thought, hey, look, most of them, you're not there for a long time. You're some of them are going to be there for a couple months, but most of them are going to be gone pretty soon. They're not going to be there that long. They'll get eliminated eventually. 8 of those teams are going to get eliminated right away, pretty much. Or what is it? 6.
We're going to go from 22 down to 16.
So 6 of them are going to get eliminated right away. They're not going to be there very long. And then once you start the tournament, those other teams are going to get eliminated pretty quick. But when he says this, that tells me what? Guys are going to have to leave and go get their IG models and go whatever and risk, and then put everybody else at risk. Think about this. The 10th or 15th man on the roster can't stand all the time out and away, so gets away from the bubble, then brings it back and gives it to the key players, and it's over? That's tough, man. But when he says that made me have a little concern there because basketball is like one of my few hopes that they could actually finish the season.
They could pull it off and get all the way through this.
Yeah.
You know what? I can't name the source, but somebody said, think about this. Think about what some of these guys do with no rules and no boundaries, okay, and where they go. And now we're going to put a bunch of rules and a bunch of structure on them. You really think? Because they go amok without it.
Yeah. But I mean, okay, but this is the way you can make money, I don't. But then again, maybe they know that if they get COVID and whatever and they're out, they get paid anyway. So who knows? All right, let's give a little love. Jean-Luc, the Juice Man, it chimes in with a super chat.
What's going on in there?
Super chat.
Excuse me a sec. What are you babbling about?
Super chat. Super chat.
We'll all
super chat.
It'll be anarchy. Out of my hands.
There you go. Jean-Luc, thank you, my brother. He says, thanks for the great show, Big O. Thank you for the great support, Jean-Luc. That's what matters, man. The support that all of you give us every single day, downloading, watching, listening, however it is you do it, man. We love you for it, man. Really appreciate it.
We need to find out about our MLS team. So.
That's right. All right, well, let's talk to Franco Panizo. We're going to talk a little Inter Miami next.
It's a buyer's market at Toyota of Hollywood. Over 1,500 Toyotas on the ground, and truckloads just keep on coming. Now pay up to 50% less. 2020 Camry, not $29,000, $17,775. 2020 Corolla, not $22,000, $13,775. Buy a new 2020 Toyota with 0 down and 0% financing, or we'll make your payments till 2021 at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All right, we back. I'm watching my man Gabe Gabor here on Twitter, and he posted a picture of our Fusion days. But is that okay? That is me, right? That's me there.
No, I do not believe so.
No,
sir.
right?
No.
Then yes, that's why he put. I don't know. Maybe that might be me, dude. Yeah. I don't know. That might be me.
You know what? The beard doesn't look like your beard.
Because I'm trying to, he's got my Twitter handle on it like it's a picture from us in the Fusion, back in the Fusion days. And I don't know if that's me there. I don't know. I'm not sure.
The beard doesn't work. It doesn't connect with your, because you had that Roman, cut out, like it wasn't all up on your cheekbones, bro.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I don't know about that one.
It could be.
I think he thinks that's me.
Blurred,
but it's not.
Yeah, no, I don't think so, bro.
No, all right. Let's talk soccer now. From our days in the Fusion, now we've got Inter Miami in the mix, and now they're going to get back in action next week. Can't wait for that. We'll be part of the broadcast, so I'm looking forward to it. Franco Panizo, by the way, covers the MLS, covers Inter Miami for Miami Total Football, the podcast that you must subscribe to. Go to Twitter, MIA Total Football. Make sure you subscribe to it right now because that's going to be one of the most insightful podcasts you're going to get on Inter Miami. Franco, you can follow him on Twitter at Franco Panizo, Panizo. Franco, good afternoon, my brother. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Everything's starting to ramp up and the excitement's starting to gear up and starting to stay busier, which is good because it's been a couple of months of some downtime. So good to see some news and everything start trickle in and the excitement is palpable now that the game is drawing close. I
know, it's awesome because now we got the games next week. Next week, what is it, Wednesday or Thursday? What's the 8th? Is it Wednesday? It's Wednesday? Wednesday, yeah. So Wednesday, we're back in less than a week now. We're back in action. The only real major sport that's back in action that isn't obviously UFC and boxing and those kind of things. So that's going to be absolutely amazing. First of all, tell us a little bit about Leandro Gonzalez Perez, the defender that they added yesterday. Your thoughts on the acquisition and what he adds? Sure.
So he's a center back, Argentine center back. He's a veteran, but not on the older side. I think my memory is correct. He's 26 or 28. He's under 30 for sure. 26 or 28. And he played in MLS before. He was at Atlanta United. He won an MLS Cup there, won an Open Cup there. So he's got some experience and some championship pedigree to him in MLS. He left Atlanta United due to differences with the coaching staff this past winter. Went to Liga MX down in Mexico, Club Tijuana, and he only lasted 6 months there, or less than 6 months there, and now makes the move back to Major League Soccer with Inter Miami. He's a good center back. He was one of the best players in the league during his 3 years with Atlanta United. A bit temperamental, can get the occasional yellow card or even a red card for the rash tackle or one word too many to the ref. So that's like maybe one critique against his game. But I mean, he's a fiery guy. He's a tough guy. He can probably play out of the back a little bit better than someone like Roman Torres. So he'll be a big boost for the Inter Miami and Inter Miami's defense once he's eligible to play. He's not eligible to play in this upcoming tournament in Orlando due to weird, complex MLS rules that, I mean, we would spend 3 hours trying to dissect if we really try to dive into it. But he will be with the team. He left yesterday with the group. He was spotted during that march or that walkout that they did from the training facility onto the bus. and he will practice and get further integrated with the group in Orlando. But again, just to reiterate, he cannot play in any of the games there.
So they added 2 players during the break, right? During this whole pandemic. And then they're also getting a couple players back health-wise. How much better is this team overall, and what chances do you give them against Orlando?
Well, I mean, they have a fairly good chance against Orlando. I think it's definitely a winnable match. I'm calling it the Sunshine Classico just because every rivalry needs a name, and that's definitely a rivalry. If you were, I went to the sending off yesterday that the fans had for Inter Miami, and there was a chant with an expletive in Spanish for Orlando City's team. So it's clearly a rivalry or a budding rivalry. But so just talking about the game, Inter Miami has a good chance. They have a healthier team than they did, before the break or before the shutdown because of COVID-19. But it just depends where players are physically, and on paper we could talk about Inter Miami is the better side and is maybe the favorite going into that opener. But until we know where these players.
Wait a minute, are they?
Listen, Orlando has. I know Miami hasn't won a game yet. Didn't win a game before the break. Neither did Orlando. But Orlando has a history of not being a great team in Major League Soccer. They've never made the playoffs, and MLS is very forgiving or very what's the word? Well, they give out a lot of playoff spots, and Orlando has never made an MLS playoff. So. I would think Miami is the slight favorite going into this one, even though Orlando's at home. Again, there's no crowd, so that doesn't play a factor. I would say Miami's probably the slight favorite in it. And then they can win that game. For sure they can win that game, but it just depends on where everyone is physically. Obviously, Rodolfo Pizarro is a big part of the team, but just for an example, like if he's not at 100% or he's not anywhere close to 100%, then that kind of affects things, and it affects the function of the team and how the team works and can play on the field. So we'll see. We'll see. They've had the benefit of being able to train outdoors longer than most teams in MLS. But again, they just started training as a group maybe a couple weeks back. So on the soccer side, they're probably physically at a decent level, but on the soccer side and the sharpness that you need to make decisions with the ball, without the ball on the field, that part might not be there yet. You only get that with some repetition in games. So might take them a bit, and we'll see. We'll see how that first game plays out. That first game will tell us a lot about Orlando, tell us a lot about Miami, will tell us a lot about the players, where they stand, and how the team looks and what they need to do. So I think Miami heads into that game better than they stopped at the break. But again, we'll see exactly where they are once that game ends.
Franco Panizo joining us, and Franco's been covering the MLS for like the last 10 years now, and he moved down here covering the Inter Miami now. And so, Franco, you know the league better than most of us. You've been following it, and obviously, for people that can like compare it to something that they do know, if you're playing American football, and let's say the Dolphins are kind of young, it takes them a while. Like last year, they brought together practically a new team, and it took them a while to figure it out. Miami is a brand new team. They brought everybody together. Now, they were able to train for a while. They were able to play 2 games, but still, they've got to be way behind on the chemistry meter compared to Orlando and a bunch of other teams. So how much more are they at a disadvantage right now compared to the teams that have most of their rosters coming back from last year? How far behind would you feel they are in that chemistry part?
They're definitely behind plenty of teams and across the league, and it's something that sporting director Paul McDonough spoke about yesterday. He talked to the press before Inter Miami took off on the buses for the trip up north to Orlando, and he touched on that. He said, we're creating an expansion team, a first-year team, but guys are still getting to know each other, and then this break has happened, and they couldn't train together anymore. So that's interrupted the process of building chemistry and building camaraderie within the group, which is, it's not something you can measure in numbers, right? But it is a very important factor in how any sports team place, especially when it comes to soccer. So that part, they are far behind. The one thing that helps them in this upcoming tournament, or at least in the initial stage, the group stage, is that in that group, 2 of the 3 teams they're playing are teams going through similar processes. They're not expansion teams, but they are teams that either have the new head coach, which is Orlando City and the Chicago Fire. They both have new head coaches, and they're both trying to implement a new style with some new faces, and they're also trying to build that chemistry. They might have a little bit more because they've been existing teams and they've been around for a couple of years, or not a couple, they've been around for years now, and that their base might be more or less the same. So, but again, that those teams are going through changes as well. So that helps at least balance the playing field for Miami in those 2 games. Now, the Philadelphia Union, which is the group stage finale, that team, the bulk of that team has been together for several years. The head coach has been in place for several years. And they're a good team. They were a playoff team last year. So that's going to be a tough match for Inter Miami. But I guess it's a long way of saying that, yes, Inter Miami is behind in terms of that chemistry building process and in terms of guys getting to know each other and be comfortable and understand each other on the field and off the field. I saw today, actually, Inter Miami has set up, I guess it's 2 hotel rooms, right, side by side, but they've kind of made it like one big, they've opened that middle door that, that has between the hotel rooms. And they've opened that and made it kind of just like one big arcade area or entertainment area for the players to go and try to hang out and have fun and obviously decompress from the day-to-day of being stuck inside a hotel. So there's card games, there's a PlayStation, there's lounging chairs, there's a bunch of different stuff there for them to do, or as much as they can do to try to stay busy during and build chemistry during this time.
All right, so let me ask you, because obviously I'm psyched. I'm ready to do the pre-game half and post for the station, and we're going to have all the games on the Inter Miami app, and I'm super excited about the project that we got going on with Inter and all of that. And obviously I work for the company, but I've got to be objective here when I'm doing this show right now at the moment. I'm confident while they're in the bubble. How freaking nervous do we get, Franco, once they leave the bubble and when they leave the tournament and now they go back to their home cities? I start to worry when players have the freedom. What are they trying to do with their players? I don't know, because it's going to be really hard to control all the teams when they go back to their own cities, travel in the way. I really worry about the season after the bubble.
Yeah, and it's also got to tie in their loved ones or their close ones, people in their circles. Is those people also either can go out to the grocery stores or they have their own things that they do. So that can also, if a player can take care of himself day and night, but then if someone around him or in his close circle does not, then that can affect the player. But look, I mean, like that, everything is going there's like a day by day thing right now. So it's hard to see what it'll be like a month from now. Like right now, obviously right now numbers in Florida are not great. And even numbers in the bubble are not looking too good. They're not, FC Dallas just yesterday announced they had more players test positive, and that's since their arrival into the bubble. So that
already means they're going to be missing players next week.
Yeah, so I think the entire team's in quarantine right now. So so it's like what I think they've had 9 players test positive overall, and 1 member of the coaching staff. So the entire team's in quarantine right now, and it's a matter of how when can they resume training, and when can they are they going to be able to play their first game?
Wait a minute, dude. So if you're in quarantine for the next 2 weeks, you're not training either. So how in the hell do you get out of quarantine and then get onto a pitch and play a game?
So I think MLS's protocol, I don't think they have to be quarantined for 14 days. I think it's just a matter of them getting consecutive days of negative tests. So I mean that would be like to my point overall in the beginning is this is being taken on a day by day basis because there's so many new things and new challenges and new hurdles that with, like, as people, as you know, and then as a league, and then as teams, and as clubs, as players, like, and on the media side as well. There's so many new challenges that arise on day by day that I think going with it on the fly might be too might not be accurate enough, but they're definitely adjusting to what happens on the daily basis. They have their protocols in place, but again, it just depends how things play out. I'm sure they didn't think about having a team get this many cases inside the bubble. Right now, FC Dallas is quarantining. I guess the idea or the hope is that enough players will get double negative tests or results in the coming days, and they'll be able to resume training ahead of their first game. Because obviously, if that doesn't happen, FC Dallas is going into their first game severely handicapped. Being out with so many players.
Follow him on Twitter at Franco Panizzo, and more importantly, follow the podcast MIA Total Football. Make sure you follow it and then subscribe to that podcast. Listen to it. When's the next one, my brother?
The next one, I'm supposed to do one tonight with my buddy Eric Krakauer, commentator for BN Sports. But we might push it back to Sunday just because the game's coming on Wednesday. So I figure people are going to want to talk about the game during Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. So we might hold off until Sunday night just to kind of recap the news that's happened this week and preview the game coming next week. But it's still up in the air. I have to talk to him a little bit later. But definitely it'll come out either tomorrow or Monday. Most likely Monday morning there will be a new episode out just to preview the Sunshine Clásico, El Clásico del Sol. And recapping this busy week of Inter Miami, because like I said at the beginning, things are ramping up, and it's good again to get involved and be involved in it. Because I'm telling you, man, yesterday it was nice to see so many familiar faces, even with the masks on and at a distance. It was nice to see, Michelle Kaufman and Kobe Price and Inter Miami's PR team, as well as the supporter in making their chants and their banners and their flags and all their songs. It was nice to see again to live and experience that excitement and cover that excitement. So it'll be exciting once the ball gets rolling.
Normalcy, baby. Right? It's a beautiful thing.
Absolutely, brother.
Sign up for it right now. You're listening to me, MIA Total Football. Subscribe to it. Follow it on Twitter. Follow my man Franco. He's going to do a great job of covering it. Miami every single day. Franco, as always, you're a stud. Safe out there. Enjoy the football.
Likewise, man, and have a good Independence Day this weekend, and stay safe, bro. We'll talk soon.
You got it, baby. You be good. There you go. The great Franco Panizzo, man. Good dude. Good dude. Don Parlamento, a really big-time supporter of our show for a long, long time. Don, thank you chiming in on the Super Chat. What? Super Chat.
No way.
Yes way. No way. Yes way.
They were fantastic.
Super Chat. Thank you. Very nice, Don. Appreciate you as always, my brother. Let's talk a little music, right? We always like talking a little music on this show. Well, on this date, we got some important things that went on July. This is what, the 2nd, right? Marty Ballin back in 1965 and Paul Cantor formed a little group, by the name of Jefferson Airplane. I don't know if you ever heard of those guys, Jefferson Airplane? Well, Marty Ballin, the late Marty Ballin, by the way, we just lost him recently. The Rolling Stones turned their free Hyde Park concert into a memorial service for late co-founding member Brian Jones, who passed away in a swimming pool. Hootie and the Blowfish released their debut album, Cracked Rear View, and went on to become the best-selling album in the history of Atlantic Records. That went on today in music history. Green Day, Fall Out Boy, and Weezer have announced their new dates for 2021, their European dates, and they also announced their North American dates. And for those of you that are interested in going to the Weezer, Fall Out Boy, Green Day concert, I will be there. It'll be at Hard Rock Stadium August 1st of 2021. So it's over a year from now when that concert is going to take place. They'll be at Jacksonville in the TIAA Bank Field on the 31st of July. So if you want to catch one of the, if the Interrupters are still part of that show, which, I mean, I'm going to go anyways because Green Day is one of those. Have you ever seen Green Day live? You haven't yet, right? I think that's on your bucket list.
No, I'm missing them.
You
yes.
have to go. You have to go. I'm telling you, Green Day live is better than what you'll imagine.
You know what's disturbing? Funny that you're mentioning them. Yesterday, in a commercial, Green Day song was used, and it just...
Boulevard.
And using Night Ranger, Sister Creek. And I'm like, and it was probably the next commercial segment, and here's All Out.
In Texas now, you know they've reversed, and now they're closing some bars, correct? Well, there's this one bar that is also a restaurant, and 51% of their business comes from food. So they're able to kind of avoid it. Vanilla Ice is going to perform this weekend at that bar. That's right. Vanilla Ice will be at the Emerald Point Bar and Grill on Friday. The massive multi-level marina structure on Lake Travis is categorized as a restaurant because 51% of its sales are food. While Abbott's orders shut down bars, it only reduces restaurant capacity to 50%. A couple of other local venues, Stubbs and Far Out Lounge, also remain open because of their restaurant designation. But according to an interview with Emerald Point General Manager Matt Norcia in May, the businessman maintains a local card for party. Promoter Mike Wade told the Chronicle that via text, the show's capacity would be 2,500, selling on Eventbrite in a range from $25 to $300. Who the hell is paying $300 to see Vanilla Ice? Vanilla Ice, a.k.a. Dallas native Rob Van Winkle, leans heavily on celebrations of 90 throwbacks culture in a promotion. In an Instagram post from early we didn't have coronavirus or cell phones or computers. The last great decade. So Emerald Point now will be having Vanilla Ice and Color Me Bad performing on Friday night. I want to sex you up.
You know who's opening up for him? You know who's opening for him?
Is the girl from New Jack City going to be dancing while that song is?
And does she have the red little
yeah, she's hot.
Lingerie? She's
hot.
Listen,
hot.
Do you know who's opening up for Vanilla Ice?
Who's opening
the
up for
incredible white rapper Ice Milk.
Ice Milk. There we go. You'll be here all week. Ice Milk. We have to close out with that? I don't know if we should. Anyway.
Just $300, man.
All right. Today, by the way, Nora Jones, if you like Nora, go to livenation.com. She will be streaming today at 4 o'clock. At 5 o'clock, I think I sent you the thing. Radiohead will be on today on YouTube at 5 o'clock. Their 97 show from France is the one that they're airing today at 5 o'clock. So if you're a Radiohead fan, go enjoy yourself a little Radiohead. Myron, if you're watching or listening, thank you. But I got to thank you from one YouTube fan to another. He was looking out for me because yesterday, Channel 32 on Sirius became the U2 channel again. So for a month, you will get to hear U2, which I know when I get in the car now, I will have Channel 32 on because I had Channel 32 on yesterday while I was driving. And then today, this morning, when I was driving here, I had Channel 32 on and I was listening to U2, and I'm sure I'm going to put it on now when I head home. So for those of you that are U2 fanatics, like Myron and myself and Bill, Channel 32 on Sirius, you can enjoy yourself a little U2 channel.
They play the Obscures.
Sound is cutting in and out, we're told. I don't know.
That's got to be the ether.
It's probably the internet. I'm sorry, guys.
Let me ask you, is that is not all the commercial blah, it's the obscure hardcore U2 jams.
It's
correct?
it's everything.
It's got a little bit.
You're gonna hear Sunday Bloody Sunday, like you might hear the Drowning Man.
Okay. Wow. See, yeah.
No, you'll hear everything.
I just, in the name of love,
wait a minute.
know.
Wait a minute. Now you'll hear other music too.
It's not just strictly.
Adam Clayton came on yesterday, right? And goes, here's one of my favorite acts from back in the day. And he went into the Fugees. And he started talking about Fugees and it was funny because anybody that was listening to the YouTube channel yesterday, I don't know if Myron was listening to this part, but Clayton comes on, right? And he goes, man, I love the Fugees, right? And God, now I'm forgetting the names now. Yeah, I'm forgetting the Fuji people. Yes, Bill. Since your mic is still on.
You're forgetting the Fuji people.
Help me out. Lauryn Hill, damn it. What's this guy that I know it. It's just I'm having the damn brain fart. But he starts mentioning the names and he goes, with Lauryn Hill, that was fantastic. And then Lauryn went on to make her solo album, the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. And then she disappeared and I don't know what happened to her. It was funny.
Do you remember what kind of hurt her?
The rest of us will say, she's back crap crazy and she just, kind of is cuckoo and she's out of her freaking happened to her, right? But Adam just wanted to be like a decent human being, and say, oh, I love the Fuji so much. Solo album she did, and then I was waiting for more, and I don't know what happened to her. She kind of disappeared and all of that, and it's like, yeah, we know Adam. We all know what happened with Lauryn Hill. She's, back crap. Will.i.am, thank you, Will.i.am. No, it's.
I said, man, it was awesome. It's
not Will.i.am. Wyclef. Thank you, Jean. Thank you. Wyclef is the one I'm missing. So, it was just funny to listen to him because he wanted to be really nice about what a disaster Lauryn Hill is. You know what I mean? And it's, the rest of us can say, right? She's crazy. She doesn't pay her taxes. She's late on every concert you ever go to. If you ever go to a Lauryn Hill concert and it says 8 o'clock on it, show up at 11:30. You'll be there about 2 hours before she comes on stage at 1:30. Okay? Basically. You may want to take off your mic, bro, when you're not on the mic.
You know what, man? Do you remember specifically what kind of really she committed business suicide in the what she said, her comment?
I forgot now. She's done so many. She's crazy, bro.
She got pissed off when she found out that a majority of her popularity was white people. She got very, very upset about that.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that.
It was right around the same time that
I have no idea.
Tommy Hilfiger.
Are you sure about that, by the way?
Yes.
You have the code, or are you sure, or you're just pulling out of your ass?
No. I remember Okay. Yeah, that was.
I don't remember.
It was because I equivalated that to like Sinead O'Connor on Saturday Night Live. You basically, what's his name? Garth Brooks, when he created that alter ego person. Like their music industry influence and where they were, like they fell off the map.
Jean-Luc says, I met Lauryn Hill at Guitar Center in Kendall. She seemed like a nice lady. Yeah, well, that's, they can play a part for a little bit. Everybody can play a little part for a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
You're saying Lauren's got some acting skills, though?
She's got, she does have some acting skills. If you saw Sister, right? She's got some acting skills there. One more thing before I let you all go, pretty much. Beavis and Butthead is making a return. They're getting a reboot again. Gen Z World by Comedy Central is rebooting the iconic animated series. Creator Mike Judge, by the way, is on board and will voice both characters. But it simply isn't new episodes of the 93 MTV series about two dense slacking teens in Texas that ran for 8 seasons. The revived version brings Beavis and Butthead into the modern world. In this iteration of Beavis and Butthead, they are entertaining a whole new Gen Z world, Comedy Central said in a press release. The series will contain meta themes relatable to both new and old fans, Gen X parents, and their Gen Z kids. It's unclear if the characters are still teens in this version or whether the parents refer to them now as Beavis and Butthead themselves. It seems like the time was right to get stupid again, said Judge, whose other shows include Silicon Valley and King of the Hill. Beavis and Butthead were a defining voice of a generation, and we can't wait to watch as they navigate the treacherous waters of a world light years from their own, added Comedy Central's Chris McCarthy, president of entertainment. There you go. You got it? All right. So there you go. So Beavis and Butthead making a comeback, and this shows again that they have no creativity, right? So they got to bring it back. And I got to tell you something about Beavis and Butthead the first time around. I could only watch it for a couple of seconds, and then I would turn it off. Okay? I never really found it, like, entertaining enough for me to watch the whole series or to watch a whole episode. I could watch, like, 2 or 3 minutes, and when one would cut off their hand and, you know, blood will spit out and they're laughing or whatever, and then I just change. You know, I never really was a, like, monster fan, and I never really thought it was a hilarious show or anything like that.
You know, like when he fire.
I just it just didn't do anything for me, to be honest with you. During an MTV interview, singer Lauryn Hill said, "I would rather die than have a white person buy one of my albums." I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, man.
If I had known white people were going to buy my last album, I never would have recorded it. I would rather have my children starve than people buy my albums. Oh, wow. That's I didn't know she said
and
that.
she's
But
awesome,
you know what?
man.
You know what? She's just crazy, bro.
You got to realize the time.
She's just crazy.
You got to realize the time. This is around the time the Tommy Hilfiger
I know.
came out with his comment. And,
I know.
And I can remember when I walked into Bird Eins, and it's like,
I get that, but it's like
what he did with his.
I don't even. I don't.
What
You know what?
jerk.
I don't even think she means that at all. I think she's just crazy. I think she just says stuff and does stuff, and she's just. I think she's just crazy.
I just wanted
all the things that have happened with that woman. I just think she's bat crap crazy, bro.
I always put it. It was a sign of the things that were going on at the bunch of things that people had gotten way out there, and yeah, Lauren's just part of that group of off the wall. Like, man, wow.
Right? No, I'm with you. One more thing before we let you go, because I did say that before, but I forgot to talk about. Although I got a bunch of other things I could talk about. Antonio Brown was working out with Russell Wilson. And this guy will do anything to get a job, which I don't blame him that he's, working out with Lamar Jackson and then Dak Prescott and then whoever else he can work out with, every quarterback in the world, because he's trying to get a job. And look, I don't think the Ravens would hire him in a million years. You would be stupid to hire a guy that is selfish and wants every ball, and he's in a running offense. Okay? Because that's what they are. They're a running offense. I kind of have a hard time understanding that he's going to do that. In Seattle, I know they've got the young kid, and they don't have a ton of receivers, but he's a guy that I get that Pete Carroll will take on all kinds of challenges. I still don't think that Pete Carroll is going to bring his crazy ass on. And here's the other thing. I think that as he works out with other people, it's kind of, let's go back to Lauryn Hill. I think when people hang around Antonio Brown, they realize, whoa, okay, this guy's crazy. That kind of, I'm pretty sure that's what goes on when it's all said and done. You know what I mean?
What I want to know is where's Dion backing him up like he did a few weeks ago?
Russell Wilson doesn't need that in his locker room, doesn't need it in his huddle. I'm just saying, to me, this is a bunch of crap. This is a guy just desperately trying to get anything and trying to get a job. But in the end, he still has so many pending litigations, and that the NFL still has to then act after all those litigations. And with COVID-19 in place, the NFL has a lot more things in their mind right now than Antonio Brown. And so somehow something tells me that he's like on the back burner as it is. I don't think he ever plays this season. I don't think he plays again in the NFL. I really don't. But we'll see. Stranger things have happened, but I do laugh how this guy is willing to work out with anybody. He's like a gypsy right now, moving around from town to town, calling quarterbacks all over the place. And I'm sure most of them say, yeah, I'll work out with you. Hey, he's crazy. I might as well just throw him a couple balls and then get out of this whole thing.
Wait a minute, man. You had the solution for why there was the uptick with Cowher, spewing all over the place in the cause. Remember, AB was the most downloaded Google hit athlete last year. For him to maintain and do it again in 2020, he needs to be out there. So that's why he's doing all this stuff to ensure that he is the most Googled athlete again. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's
it's crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff. And that's a crazy dude. And if you're Seattle, you're Baltimore, you have a chance at a championship, don't derail it with that guy. That's all I would say. Think about it. The season is crap for Pittsburgh last year, crap for Oakland, and it ended up crap for the Patriots. Every team that he had a hand in on, they none of them had real success last year. So you want to stay away from Antonio Brown. I'm just saying. Antonio Brown's not the kind of guy you want on your football team anymore. All right, time to wrap it up here on the show, man. We are done. We thank Steve Ostrov and all the great people out here at Toyota of Hollywood. Tomorrow, we double dip. Tomorrow, we're at Craig's Inn Acura from 9 to 11, like always. And then we move over to Hialeah Park from 1 to 4. So we got 2 shows tomorrow, 5 hours to rock and roll. We got plenty of guests also that will be joining us. We thank Bill and Philippe, as always, getting it done, audio and video. Herbie, all the great people out here, Steve Ostrov, cracking the whip out here in Hollywood. We're out here every Thursday, as always, from 11 to 2. Let's thank all of our super chatters. Leon Fresco, John Rouse in the house, Tommy Italian 305 for life, GP Trap Hewitt, Ray Grulong, Jesse Minneapolis, DraftKings FanDuel GPP Central, Jean-Luc the Juice Man, Don Parlamento. Thank you all for super chatting. Thank you for chatting. Thank you for sending a text.
Recent research has shown
Super chat.
Makes no sense. Yeah, you're getting focused on all the wrong sort of details here. You need to forget about all the normal rules that apply in society.
Wasted no time. Super chat. I thought it was really, 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 really cool.
You should all be very proud of yourself.
I have no response.
Super chat.
That was perfect.
Thank you, super chatters out there. You guys are absolutely awesome. Thank you all that were chatting, sending an email, a tweet, a text, however it is, you reach out to us. We love you for it. We'll see you tomorrow twice, 9 to 11, Craig's Inn Acura, 1 to 4, Hialeah Park. You all be safe out there. Much love.
I'm in shock. The super chatters of the world didn't unite to keep you on longer. I'm in shock, bro.
Happens sometimes.
Y'all have a good one. Please stay safe. Till tomorrow.
Be good.